That's fine. Okay. Thank you, Komi. All right. Well, a good afternoon again, and welcome to this session where we are talking all about empowering SMEs to trade intra-Africa. My name is Milka Moigai, and I'm your moderator for today. I am the Executive Director of Africa Women in Trade. AfWITrade is how the company we trade under. And it's a good afternoon to all of you, and welcome to this session. We have a lot that is lined up for you. So come ready to get to engage, to understand, and also to contribute, because there's so much that each and every one of you has. Women, we are powerful people, and we have a lot we can give, and there's a lot that we can share. So I would like to say thank you to the organizers. This is hosted by UNDP and AfWITrade, and it's a pleasure to have each and every one of you, and we're looking forward to a very productive and impactful session. Thank you very much. So without further ado, I would like to welcome, to give some opening remarks this afternoon, Natasha van Rijn, yeah, I said it right, to the stage so that she can give us her opening remarks. Welcome, Natasha.
Good afternoon, Madam Executive Director, distinguished guests, precious entrepreneurs. Good afternoon to all of you once again. On behalf of the United Nations Development Programme, which I have the honor of representing here in Algeria, it's an honor to welcome you all to this all-important side event on empowering women SMEs for intra-African trade with Africa Women in Trade. As we gather here on this beautiful afternoon day in Algiers, we cannot leave this fair without having a session showcasing the pivotal role of women in trade. Trade is transforming how we live, how we work, and even how we connect. At the very heart of this transformation is women, entrepreneurs whose creativity, resilience, and innovation are all shaping Africa's future. Yet despite their great contributions, there's a need to further drive inclusivity in trade by putting the spotlight on bold innovations and initiatives engineered by women across the African continent. This session is a call to action. It invites us all to look beyond the challenges and instead spotlight the solutions that women in trade are creating. It asks us to examine the unique role of women that women play in driving inclusive trade, and to identify investments and partnerships while removing the barriers that hold women back. I believe that when women entrepreneurs succeed, societies thrive. They create jobs, strengthen competitiveness, and ensure that innovation responds to the diverse needs of communities everywhere. At UNDP, we remain committed to advancing inclusive economic growth. With thanks to our partners like Africa Women in Trade, we're working to ensure that we put women at the forefront, where women entrepreneurs are not just participants, but leaders of innovation. Let me conclude by reiterating that the future of trade is inclusive, and women must be at the center of that effort. I hope that you all have a very engaging session, and I thank you.
Thank you very much, Natasha. That was very inspiring, and we appreciate the work that you do for women across the world. They have been very impactful, and we are grateful that you could join us this afternoon. I would now like to invite the founder, the CEO of Africa Women in Trade, AfWITrade, Joy Zenz, to give her opening remarks. Put your hands together for Joy Zenz. Welcome.
Hello, good evening or good afternoon. Yeah, how has the day been for you? The very busy 3 days. I'm not someone who's still on one place. I'll try my best. But I'm happy that you made it here in Algeria, because it's all about women. Do you know 70% of traders are women in Africa? Yes, I'm not making it up. It's a fact. But we are not recognized. And people don't know that we exist, or they don't appreciate it. I don't know. We'll get to know all this today. But as I'm going to present here today is about who we are, just to give you an idea. So we thought, as diaspora, myself, I come from Germany, but I'm Kenyan. And we said, how can we support the continent from the diaspora mindset? And the initiative started with actually the formation of AfCFTA, which had just started. So we are 5 years old. And the whole idea came out from these women in Europe. They're coming from UK, Germany, Switzerland, Holland. Oh, you can hear me? Okay. So this was a great initiative of putting women together. And our vision was to create a platform where women, through the whole Organization of Africa Women in Europe, the one I showed you earlier, which is a 17 years old organization, we decided we're gonna come back to Africa, we're gonna make the change. I'm a very aggressive woman, if you have ever worked with me, because I really need to see the change. We want to see impact, not just stories. We've had enough stories now. So we work with different people, and you'll see us along the way. And our mission, as you see, we want to eradicate poverty. We don't want to hear every time when you come to Europe that Africa is poor. I don't understand that. I never thought we were poor. What is poor? We have everything. But we decided to go on the grassroots to find the women themselves and ask them. I'm from Kenya. I would not know everyone. So I asked women, what do you want? You can imagine as a diaspora, when you ask a woman in Africa, what do you think? They would ask money, right? No, it was not money. They told me, information. What do you mean information? We had a statistic is the biggest, almost 50% wanted information. I asked, what's wrong? Is the information not reaching you? No. I said, okay, that's very easy for me. Actually, my problem, I have information and I don't know who to send to. So we created a platform, and from the platform, our website, where they joined, actually the first time AfCFTA launched, I was already recruiting them online. We work digital. Everything is digital. So WhatsApp group, Facebook, we started collecting all the women, understanding, do you know what is AfCFTA? We had to start from there. It's a big thing. Let's work together. Let's see how we can work together. But I know it's in the beginning, but let's get to know who we are. What do we want on the grassroots level? So we, from the women, they gave us 4 pillars. Market access, this was the biggest one. If you reach a woman thinking in Europe, I want to sell, what do you want to sell? It was COVID time. Show me on the camera, on Zoom. Beautiful, beautiful products. So we decided, okay, these products are ready for the markets. How can we get you with the right certification? Who are your markets? The whole thing about markets, we had to work with them over and over. And the information above, we shared with them over email on a daily basis. I went to all organizations. They asked me, I'm not in trade, but they told me where to go. They tell me, go to WTO. Okay, I go there, I sit down, I listen. Okay, these are protocol people. They are doing a lot of paperwork to support businesses. I can give them the issue together with the locals. And as well, we go to expos to find the markets. What do the markets need? Because the women want to sell, we believe demand over supply. So if the woman is showing me a product, I ask her, who are you producing it for in the first place? Then I know where to go to find new markets. That's another part where we have a lot of mindset changing. We have WhatsApp groups. We communicate purely on WhatsApp group. We have meetings, just listening and understanding what is the blockage. And finance and investment is another part we work very closely, because now after we have got the markets, we realize the women cannot reach the volumes. and you, my colleague, will be telling you more about that. We understand the issues, finance, but we believe if you have markets, all the doors will open. All the doors will open. The bank will open, the Afreximbank will come, UNDP will come, everyone will come to rescue. But do you know that? And that's the work we do. A capacity building, we've worked together with a lot of organizations. That's why we are here to give you information. What are the organizations that are out here helping you as a exhibitor or a seller, wholesaler, trade? First, exhaust your market at home. When you start cross-border, then that's where I come in. I ask you to, first of all, finish where you are in the country, exhaust the market. Cross-border is the biggest one for women. Then we talk, we figure it out, the AfCFT, what are the tariffs, and who is there to help you in that area. Of course, all that would not happen without relationship. That's why I'm here, to show my face, to connect with women, to build trust, collaboration. And they say out there, if you work with a woman in Africa, you never go wrong. And I'm not saying it here, I hear it in Europe. They target women. And are you ready? Are you informed? Because the other day we were being told, one of from just here in Dubai, said, I don't want like working with women. They don't deliver, they don't deliver. They talk too much, they don't deliver. I said, what do you mean? What's the problem? Tell us, maybe we can figure it out. But we need information. As you all said, information is important. I believe that's where this problem is, lack of information. And we are here especially just for that. So we'll give you flyers to go on with the objectives, what we've done. These are the areas we look into. We are basically right now with agriculture sector. That's our area, and women as well. And then these are the products that we've been helping throughout. Kenya coffee. We have also tea from Nigeria. These are things that can go direct. I found them already finished. I did nothing here. They were already done. My work, you can see when they put my logo on the package to take it to. This product actually had to come to Germany, and it was smelling very fresh. We want to do value addition product, no raw materials. That's our concept. We also have South Africa, a very innovative youth as well from South Africa, innovation, but she's stuck. She cannot produce it. She produced in university. So how can we help her to increase? Because some of these women, they don't need a lot of money. They just need the machines. But the interest rates, sometimes they're very horrible. She got 40% interest I don't know when she's gonna finish for that, to just have the product produced. There's a lot of barrier. We have also, you can see there, we go to Kenya and see their shops, see what their products they have. I have also a bag I carry all the time. My products are mostly made from the women to promote their product. They're ready to go. So we are two directors. I am basically in the understanding the women, what they do, but what then? After we've done all that, what's then? The market. So we have worked together with Milka, who is here, who's going to tell you more about how she has experienced. And this, what we tell you here, is representing, we have over 10,000 women traders, and they're also on our platform. They'll be listening to this, and these are reports we give you, and you'll see yourself where you are. And throughout the session, please make sure you ask questions. What was your hurdle? Then we take it to the next step. So I'm going to hand over to my executive director here as well, who is ready, who's going to take you to the next part, where she is going to mention more about the products. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joy, for giving us an overview of who Africa Women in Trade, or AfWITrade, are. We are so grateful that you have come to listen to us, because I have worked with a lot of women who are already in trade in their countries, and the problems that they're facing is how to move to the next level. So as Joy said, I deal with the business to business side of things. And what we do is, when we get the ladies or they come to us, we have a sit down with them, because everybody's an individual. Your business is unique to you, and your challenges are unique to you as a person, unique to your sector, and unique to your geographical region. So we don't like to generalize things, because everyone has individual issues. So we try and discuss with you and see, based on our pillars, how can we help you? How can you benefit from being a member of Africa Women in Trade? Because the aim is to take you from one level to another. We have different people in different levels. Some are starting up, some actually are thinking of starting, others are already in business and they're looking to scale up. So we cannot generalize everybody. We work with you at where you are. So there are many challenges that women face. And some of the challenges actually are to do with trust, being trusted. That is a big thing, because they are new in the market. Nobody knows you. You have a beautiful product. It looks great. You tell us a beautiful story, but nobody's trusting you. And this is something that is very concerning to the people, because they are working hard and they're thinking, how do I get to the next level? They have no traction. No traction at all, no history. So we try and teach them how to have a traction, how to have a history, how to have customer reviews, how to put your business, to position your business whereby it can be recognized as a legitimate and a trusted enterprise or business. So these are some of the things that we are working with the women. We sit down and then we ask them, what is your problem? A lot of them, the problem is finance. Finance is a big thing. It doesn't matter what level you're at, whether you're at startup, whether you're at the top, finance is always an issue. So it just depends on what are you looking at in the finance sector. Some of you are looking to scale up, some of them are looking for equipment, some are looking for to be able to employ people. So we work with you and we partner with other organizations who can help you. For example, Joy mentioned we have one of our lovely youth, and she's doing an amazing, amazing product in South Africa, a young lady making some coffee product out of buttersquash nuts, which is very interesting. It's a very unique product. If you taste it, it's heavenly, I tell you. She's amazing. But then she was renting a space in a university. Well, she's outgrown it because she cannot be able to produce enough in that little space. Now she's looking to grow. When she went to the banks in South Africa were offering her 40% interest rate, honestly. Is there business there? 40%. But do you only have to get money from your country? There are many other opportunities. So we partner with these people and direct you where you can go and get the help that you need so that you're able to take your business to the next level. So it's very important. What are you looking for? Machinery. What are you looking for? Packaging. What are you understand? There are different things. The other thing that we found that was very, very concerning is protection, IP protection. They have the best products, the most beautiful products, but they're not protected. Anybody can take it. So we help them to protect their products so that at least they're not being taken away. Their hard work is not in vain. And this comes through also networking, like Joy said. We put women in groups so that you can talk to one another and you can help each other, because without information, you can have the best product and it might go nowhere. So finance is a big thing, financial capacity. The other problems that I encounter when I meet with the ladies and we talk about is the problem of meeting the capacity or the volumes that they're asked for. For example, we had one buyer interested in ginger, fresh ginger, 1 40-foot container per week. Now, how do you supply that person per week? Who has that huge land to be able to, that you need to be able to partner with other people to aggregate, so there are many things that, there are many problems. So you have an order, but you're like, But the thing is, there's also negotiation power. You don't have to give per week. You can say, I can give 1 container a month, and your other business partner can give another container. You see what I mean? So 4 of you can come together. So it's a matter of seeing how do we work together to be able to sort our problems out. So these are some of the issues that we come across as Africa Women in Trade when we are working with our women. Logistics is another issue. How do I get my thing from A to B, from cross-border, from one place to another? How do I trade? What does it mean? The reason we are here today is to understand the how. How does it literally work for me as an SME in my business to be able to trade from country A to country B? AfCFTA is here, bringing down the trade barriers. But what does it mean for me? Yes, in policies it says A, B, C, D, but what does it mean? How is it translating to me to understand it, to be able to do the business? That is why we are here today. We want to understand how is it that I can access this finance? What is the bank willing to do for me? What are the logistic companies willing to do for me? So these are some of the problems that buyers face, you know, when they're trying to interact with people. Internet issues, you know, technology, you know. Some people understand technology, others don't understand. They don't understand the big words that you're telling me in the business world. So we want our women to understand these concepts. Yes, as I said, we work with women from different levels. Some of them on the high level, they understand every single thing. Others don't understand. So we're here to work together and to move to the next level. So this is a season and a session for you to ask questions. Those questions you've been wondering, we have the expertise here for you to get the answers. Thank you very much.
Yes, she said it all. That's the lady you meet the first time you join us, and you can connect us on this platform, which is quite easy to follow up. Yes, and I want to thank you. And today, really, it's not about us. It's about the people we have brought for you here now to tell you those issues you've given highlighted, but now for you as a business person. We have buyers here as well. So also pitch a little bit when you're saying your name and your product. You know how we do women, yeah? Yes, we can say praise God, amen, and then we go to the business. We have to be direct. So the buyers are also here. We managed to put a few of them here, and they're listening to you. And they're going to tell you their challenges as well. So thank you so much. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Joy. I hope this gives you a little bit of an insight what this session is all about. And so without further ado, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Komi Tsowou from UNDP Program for Women-Led Enterprises and Inclusive Growth to give us the next session. And thank you very much. Welcome.
Thanks very much. And thanks as well. I think today I'm not going to be talking too much because my colleagues from the various countries' offices are here. My name is Komi. I'm UNDP Regional Advisor on Trade. So we really want to demonstrate how some of our country officers are also supporting women in trade. And thanks also, Ara, for being with us and for hosting us for this whole week. So please, a round of applause to our RR, Natasha, who actually, a small story, Natasha was before in Madagascar, has really pushed the AfCFTA agenda there. I think thanks to the work, also leadership and partnership, you know, Madagascar, we had a meeting with them earlier. They're also looking into how now they can concretely pass the next step, which is implementation. How can we support women in Madagascar trade with entrepreneurs in Algeria, for instance? So these are some of the things we are working on. But let me call two of my colleagues from three countries, two regions, 3 countries. Jamal, please, can you come? From Mauritius, Seychelles. And we have a few entrepreneurs also from Mauritius, Seychelles. So if some of you are here, want to start importing some of those island countries, some specific product or services, please you can talk to Jamal. We have Edith from Nigeria, our largest economy on the continent, who will also share, and we have Edem from Ghana country office who will share with you how we are supporting businesses.
Thank you, Komi, for the introduction. So we are here today, myself, Jamil Jitu, so with my colleagues Edith from UNDP Nigeria and Edem from UNDP Ghana. So basically today we are going to share with you some of our programs that we are running on these 3 countries. So I'll start, may I start with Mauritius, but maybe I can ask those at the back, maybe you can move a bit to the front, to the center, if that's okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. So the presentation, the presentation. It is this, okay. Okay, nice. That's not. No. Maybe there. Okay, so while waiting for the presentation to show, so we've been doing a lot at the UNDP. So it's not fair only just to present 3 countries. So we've got all these countries in the Regional Bureau of Africa, but today it's just about showcasing a sample of 3 countries. So I'm going to talk a bit about Mauritius. So maybe not all of you know where the country is found. It's near South Africa, a very small island. So we have the island of Mauritius and the one of Seychelles. So so in our region, it's a multi-country office. So we cover both Mauritius and Seychelles, very small countries near Madagascar. So the area of Algeria was previously in Madagascar. So just there. And we are considered to be a small island developing state, a SIDS country. So at times, being a small country, we have certain advantages, but at times we have a lot of disadvantages also when it comes to trading. So we are going to share a bit about that, but first of all, I wanted to share the best and the biggest initiative that we have been doing in Mauritius in terms of the AFCFTA. The first one, we came up 2 years back with what we call the Export Accelerator Program. We are going to discuss about that. And the second thing is about the UNDP Economic Lab of Mauritius and Seychelles. So I'm going to share with you how we came up with these programs and how it has been helpful. And we are also going to invite on stage our SMEs who have been through that program. So the first one is Export Accelerator Program. So it's a flagship program in UNDP. So it is made up of 3 main stages. So the objective behind it was initially what we have found being a small island developing state. We found that we have been disconnected with trade with mainland Africa. The first reason is a scale issue. So we are small, our production capacity is also small. The second issue is the isolation. So we are remote, we are far away from the mainland. So that gives us a lot of disadvantages. And what we've found, at times when we speak about with the SMEs, they tell us that as small islands, we have been left outside the mainland and even in terms of trade. So to bridge that gap, we came up with what we call the Export Accelerator Program. And we have been focusing on women-led entrepreneurs. So I'm going to explain to you the 3 steps that we made in the first selection process. So what we did, we had a call for application all over the island in Mauritius and Seychelles, and with the help of a consultant. So we had a national advertising, and then a limited number of SMEs was selected. So at first it was 20 SMEs covering Mauritius and Seychelles. And we found that through previous engagement with SMEs that the main issue is about export readiness. So we had SMEs in Mauritius and Seychelles. They were producing, but not necessarily that they had the right expertise and knowledge to be able to enter the mainland Africa to supply their products. So we came firstly with an export readiness capacity building program for women-led entrepreneurs from Mauritius and Seychelles, number one. Number two, we provide them with what we call hand-holding and mentoring sessions. Each one of them, because we believe that each SME, they have their own needs, their own challenges, and their own initiative and opportunities that they need to tap into. So that's where they had the privilege to have a hand-holding exercise, a mentoring, in order to find what are the problems and find solutions in each of the unique cases. So that's the second part. And then we need to be practical. We need to be practical, not only having policies discussion. And then the next step after the coaching, when we feel that they were ready to get into the export market, we came up with a third stage, which is called the Sponsorship and Grants Program for Women-Led Entrepreneurs in Mauritius. So there were mainly two components for that. The first one, after building their capacity, we sponsored them to attend trade fairs. So these are some of them. For example, we had the African Women Innovation and Entrepreneurship Forum last year in South Africa. And why we chose South Africa? Because, you know, when we speak about Mauritius and Seychelles, we needed to bridge that gap in terms of trade. The closest countries and the biggest economies one of them is South Africa. We have direct flight connection, number one, and then we have direct freight connection also. That was very important. So that's why we have been exploring markets in South Africa. We have had the Africa Tech Festival also in South Africa last time, and we've sponsored the SMEs to attend the Intra-Africa Trade Fair in the year 2023 and this year also. So we will have the privilege to listen from them, so how these programs have been beneficial for them. And the second thing, we found that at times when you just sponsor the SMEs, they also have some other requirements. For example, you can be a small SME, you have a market, but you don't have a capacity to produce. So we've been giving grants program. For example, in an SME in Seychelles, we've given the grant program for the SME to be able to enhance capacity by buying additional machines, number one. And even in Mauritius, so we've given so much grant for website development, to buy machines, to improve branding and packaging. So these were the challenges that we've heard from the SMEs themselves. So we have a loop system where we listen to the SMEs and try to find solution. Just after that, I'm going to discuss with you also how we have a methodological way of finding the challenges and also the solution. So that's where we have something else, which is called the UNDP Economic Lab of Mauritius and Seychelles. So it is based on 3 pillars. The first one is about experimentation. Experimentation, it means we have tried to have pilot system, digital tools. So in Mauritius, we have even tried to have hackathon with the youth, asking them to try to develop new apps, which can help us to develop trade in Mauritius and Seychelles. The second one, after doing experimentation, even here, after having capacity building, we've sponsored the SMEs to come to trade fairs. So that's the experimentation part. The second one is about scaling. Sorry, it's not exploitation, but exploration. We try to explore market, try to find solution, whether it's possible, it's bringing something positive or not. And then we have a solution mapping part. We engage with government, try to see what are the challenges, what are the solutions. So the Economic Lab, it focuses on these 3 things: experimentation, scaling, and solution mapping. So I won't be taking too much of your time. So next, I'll be calling the SMEs who have benefited from our programs over the last 2 years. So we'll start with Ranjana. So so we'll ask Ranjana to come to stage. So she's the founder and CEO of Sphere Media Technologies in Mauritius. So we are not only focusing on trade products, we also focus on technologies. So that's where last time she was in our Export Accelerator program. And she also benefited from the capacity building, the mentoring session, and even went to AfriTech Festival in South Africa. So she's going to share a bit with us how this has been fruitful. So we have 5 minutes for this.
Thanks,
Ranjan.
Jamil. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Glad to be here. Glad to share my experience, to have the opportunity to do that. Indeed, we have had a good support, a great support, and a great guidance from the UNDP. It started off for me by taking part in the Export Accelerator Program. And like Jamil said, you know, it's not only for trade. I was quite worried in the beginning because I was saying that, you know, I am in the services sector. I have an agency, which is a brand strategy and marketing and communication agency. And I was not too sure how it fits, you know, in the whole program. So at some point, the Chamber of Commerce reached out to us through the UNDP, and we had a chat, and I was like, you know what, let's get on board. I attended the Africa Tech Festival last year, and this time I'm here. And I have to say, it's been a wonderful experience. The Africa Tech Festival was awesome in the sense that we got to sit down and listen to those who are actually shaping and transforming the digital world. I mean, like I said, my agency is in marketing, branding, digital marketing, and I needed to see what was happening on the continent. Sometimes what happens is that, you know, we are in Mauritius, yes, we read, we educate, we try to see what's happening elsewhere, but we're not really in contact with the actual people doing it. So being at the Tech Festival last time was something that made us meet the right people, right? Sharing of ideas, sharing of solutions, and how we could bring the solutions, adapt them to the requirements of the market in Mauritius. Now, we talk about barriers, frontiers, and everything. My agency is in Mauritius. I don't have to just be servicing clients who are based in Mauritius, right? So it allowed me to create solutions to go beyond Mauritius. And I have to say thank you. And this time that we're here, it's another massive experience. Again, you know, looking at the width of things, you know, how big it is, how many people we're meeting here from so many different countries, the products that you're selling, the challenges that you have. I mean, I had the chance to be on a panel yesterday to speak about women in tech. It was a privilege, you know, it was a privilege to be able to share that kind of insight. It was also a privilege to hear from the other speakers, you know, about their path, their challenges, and how they are overcoming it. So I can only say thank you. Thank you for giving us the platform. Thank you for giving us the voice. That's very important, to be able to be heard. Because most of the time, you know, you go about doing your things and then, you know, you just say, how did I transform someone's life today, even my own? But then we get to do that through platforms that are being given to us, through the UNDP, through the Chamber of Commerce, through the Export Accelerator Program, through being in different conferences. So here's my experience.
Thank you very much, Ranjana. So one of the SMEs that we have sponsored twice in tech, and it makes us UNDP Mauritius very proud. And second person, so someone who has been supported. So I'm not only talking about Mauritius, so just note that there's another country called Seychelles, and now we'll call up on stage Ingrid Sora, who represents Bellish from Seychelles. So she deals with cosmetics. So she's going to share her experience and her challenges also. So as a small SME, how it's difficult at times to access the market from a small island developing states, and how she has benefited from our programs and support. Over to you, Ingrid. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. My name is Ingrid, and I'm from the Seychelles. And as Jamil has said, I make cosmetics. I manufacture cosmetics from the Seychelles. We try to use as many local ingredients as possible. So we push the formulation so that it includes always a high percentage of local ingredients sourced locally. We are very, very stringent when it comes to being sustainable. So the ingredients has to be sourced sustainably. Also that the packaging should not be single-use plastics. And so we're in the process actually of doing more innovation when it comes to that. My journey with UNDP started about 2 years ago when we first went to Egypt. And that was a real eye-opening. Seychelles is a tiny little country. We are tiny in terms of land space. We are huge in terms of sea space, but we are also only 100,000 people. So it means that a lot of the times when you talk of Africa, we're overlooked or we're sidebarred. What was it again? Where are you again? I can't see you on the map, kind of thing, because it's barely a dot. So, but we're there. And so for me, since the last 2 years, it's been wonderful to have been included. So thank you very much. Going to Egypt and seeing how, this was like the first step into seeing how can we be part of this great, mighty, we are part of the continent, but how can we truly be a part of it? And how can we trade now with the rest of Africa? The problems we had 2 years ago, they're still there now, I must admit. And that's the problems of logistics. We are, because we've got all the sea, so it's very difficult for us to just send things across. It becomes very, very expensive. If we want to do air freight, it becomes almost prohibitive. Because by the time that you've added the cost of the air freight, then your product is so much more expensive than anybody else's. And the people are now asking, I mean, it's really nice, but why should I buy yours when I can get something else, maybe just as nice or maybe not as nice, but for a cheaper price? So we're around there. So coming here this time, 2 years later, I must say I was pleasantly surprised and impressed to find that Ugandan Airlines now have a cargo plane and they're going between Nigeria, South Africa, and Uganda. And the prices that are, yeah. So I was like that as well. I was just like, wow, I'm trying not to get too excited just yet because I need it to happen for me. But we are close to South Africa, and now I just need to get that other part, because if I can get it to South Africa, that means I can get it to the other places. And that would mean a lot for me. UNDP, I didn't manage to, I missed their capacity building, but UNDP has actually helped me then further. I went to the South African, the AfWIF, which was also super, super interesting. And for me personally, because we're in the process of getting some very important actually certification. So South Africa is a very important and the closest hub for us. So that was, that was very, very helpful. And then at the end of last year, they came to me and they were just like, okay, so what is it that you need, basically? And they came into my factory, and I say factory, and it's a very loose term. I should actually say atelier because it's very, very small. And Jamil was there as well, and all the colleagues were there. They were all sort of cramped up. We had to move things around just to be inside. And they said to me, so what can you do? So I explained to them, I said, look, I can make 5 liters at a time. I've got another equipment that I can make 20 liters at a time. I would very much now like to jump to be able to make 50 liters at a time. That means a lot for me. It means, I don't have to spend so much time making it, because now I don't have to do 20 and then another 20 and then another 20, so I could make it all at once. And it would just facilitate things. And the equipment that I want and have been, basically I've been eyeing it for several years, was I had to invest in other things, and it was always, okay, so now I can't do it because I have to open up the shop. I've got to do the inside. I've got to pay for this and I've got to do that. And so they were like, okay, so how much is it? And when I told them how much it was, and then they were just like, okay, so what if we part funded you? And if they hadn't done that, I would have pushed that purchase for a little bit further along, to be perfectly honest. So now what I've done, because they did it, I've now spent double the amount of money, to be honest, because I didn't only get the one that gets me the 50, I also got the same for the 5, because when you're doing your sampling or when you're doing the sample sizes, it's good to have the exact same equipment that you're going to be doing for a bigger sample size, so that you understand exactly how the texture is going to be, how the product is going to be. So they helped with that. So it's a big deal for me. So thank you very much. And coming here this time, I must say, actually this morning, She asked me all the questions about what did I see, how has it been, how is that better? And I think that there's several things that I've noticed that have improved since the last one. And one of the things is that they were organized, so the I never know how to say this really well and quickly, so you have AFCFTA. I have to look at it. I apologize. So they organized people to come on the stand, and that was very proactive. And I thought that how wonderful, because they understood that if we are on the stand all the time, how are we meant to go and meet all the other buyers who we might have missed? So they organized people to come to us and understand our businesses, and they were to help out to go and find matching buyers to suit us. So already that's very proactive, so thank you. And also these side events that we've been having, so the chats, there were the panels, these amazing women and men who are really trying to make a difference, and the topics that they spoke about resonated with me. And it was honest. It was about, okay, so where are we, where we would like to get to, and let's talk about how can we get there together. So I've found this very inspiring. And then on just a little side note, so ECOWAS and UNDP got together. They decided to do a little competition, and I've got a team member there. So we just got together. So four companies who actually didn't know each other from before, but we managed to, we did this competition and we won. And what did we win? We didn't win money. We won 12 months of support, where yet we're going to understand a little bit more what this means, but 12 months of support, and support in trying to access the other countries, the other African countries, and also for hopefully upscaling. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Ingrid, for sharing all this. So what we can note from this, maybe most of you have noted that. So we've tried to bridge the gap, the challenger that we face. First, about the scale issue. When you're small, in a small island, you don't have a market. So we've tried to empower the women-led SMEs in terms of enhancing and building capacity, having more outputs. Then you have economies of scale, number one. Number two, we've tried to bridge the remoteness gap, allowing them to access markets beyond their own country. For example, the South African one, Egyptian market, and possibly here, the Algerian market. So we are trying to bridge the gap. So we are not limiting the AfCFTA goals in terms of policy. We are going towards practical solution, and we are trying to build women-led SME champions. So that's why at times we are hand-holding the same SMEs attending to the trade fair, because we want to bring some solution and some sustainable solutions, not just one-off support. So like you have heard from her, so it's about giving grant, supporting for trade fair, and everything in terms of capacity building. So thank you very much, Ingrid, for that, for sharing. And maybe now we have, but before moving to another person from Mauritius, let's hear from our colleague. Let's start from, which one? Let me change the slide. Yeah. So our next colleague is going to talk about the experience from Ghana. So can you please put the slide here? So yeah. So Adam from Ghana.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, again. So we've been talking a lot about information gaps, and this is something that we really saw in our work. So we have something called the Integrated MSME Support Program, where we provide different interventions for MSMEs from all across Ghana. And every time we go for these interventions, there's always the same questions that are being asked. Same questions about trade, same questions about even trading with ECOWAS, not to even talk about the AfCFTA. There's so many things that came up. So we decided to come up with what we called the NIMDA series. It's a business clinic where we provide information to MSMEs on a regular basis. And this information, it comes from questions that come from the MSMEs. So not UNDP bringing up the questions. So we go around to the MSMEs, provide questions for them to ask. What do you want to see? What do you want to hear? What information are you missing? What gaps do we need to fill? And that's how we came up with this. The NIMDA series. NIMDA is an Akan word that means knowledge. We launched this last year, May of 2024. The first session was a virtual session. It wasn't as many people, but it was a very impactful session, something we are planning on repeating. But the idea of the NIMDA series is to provide information every quarter. So every quarter we have a different topic. Every quarter we have a different topic from MSMEs, a list of MSMEs. So some of the topics that we've looked at in the last couple of sessions is branding and positioning, something that was very important for MSMEs, because a lot of our work is focused on the AfCFTA. So branding and positioning is very important, because you bring some of the businesses together and some of the branding is not standardized. You have one where something is looking slightly different from the other. And in a very competitive market, you need to align some of your products. You need to make sure they are standardized. So when they go into the market, there's no issue, with the product. So we looked at branding and positioning. Another thing that we looked at is unlocking strategies for market expansion and export readiness. So this we did with our government agencies. We have what we call the National Coordination Office of the AfCFTA. That sits under the Ministry of Trade. So we brought key personnel from there. And we have what we call the Ghana Export Promotion Authority that came to provide up-to-date market expansion and export readiness information to businesses. Again, this session was very detailed. And every session that we have, we normally try to bring an MSME to come and talk about her experience in these different sessions. So not just an expert talking to you, but then and the fellow MSME to also give their experiences and how they are improving their work in these spaces. Another area that we looked at is products and service innovation, staying ahead again in a competitive market because the competition keeps increasing. And the very last one that we had that was a big hit was navigating the regulatory environment. So for this, we brought all the regulatory bodies in Ghana together. So we have the Standards Authority, the Food and Drugs Board Authority, even SNITs, how to talk about your pension, which is something that we don't talk about with MSMEs because they are businesses that stand alone. But these are some of the questions that were answered during this session, and it ran long because the interest was beyond the time that we had. So these are some of the gaps that we're filling. So in addition to the NIMDA series, we have hybrid sessions, and these hybrid sessions also come with exhibitions. So we're not just bringing the businesses together to come and hear information, but providing platforms where they can engage with each other. So hearing from the experts and also having B2B conversations. So you see my product, I see your product. Where did you source your product from? Who helped you get this type of product? What type of people are you talking to? What experiences are you sharing? That's what we're looking at in the NIMDA series. So the impact that we've had so far, 200 plus women and youth businesses strengthened with the capacity to trade and seize opportunities under the AfCFTA. So we supported a couple of businesses that have gone through the NIMDA series, different sessions, one of which is here, who will give her testimonial. So we have, again, like I mentioned, the B2B sessions, and then we have enhanced capacities in innovation, branding, marketing, and export readiness. Our next session is actually coming up next week. It's online. It's an online session where we'll probably be able to share eventually, but that's going to focus on non-financial market support. So how can we're getting an expert from one of the banks, Absa Bank, to speak on this topic. So this is something that we're going to keep continuing. We're doing this once every quarter to always get that information gap. And again, the questions are coming from the MSMEs. So if something seems outdated, whatever new questions that come from the MSMEs are the questions that we're going to address. So at this point, I'm just going to call one of our MSMEs, Nana Inima Apofo. She's in the cosmetics area. Her product is heparin, to share her experience on how the NIMDA series has helped her business. Thank you. Okay, so I'll hand over.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon. My name is Nana Inima Ampofo. I formulate cosmetics, plant-based, using natural oils, plants, and butters. Okay, so the NIMDA series has been very impactful, very educative. It's been a learning process. So I had the opportunity to be part of the digital marketing training, and we learned a lot about content creation using the right SEO keywords to help us scale our businesses. And I had a little challenge with the social media like management, but through the training, I was able to scale up my followers to I was able to scale up my growth or grow my business, and also I was able to. It also helped me to boost my sales as well. And another impactful NIMDIA series that happened was the one on the regulatory compliances. So regulators were brought, and we were taught how to be compliant with the law and also business regulations. So in all, it's been a great one, and I look forward to the next series. Thank you.
So thank you very much. So normally we support some businesses to come for trade fairs like this that have been through the NIMDA series. So based on the support that the NIMDA series has been able to give to their businesses to boost growth, to boost sales, to increase their project, their marketing, we support these businesses to come on this fair. So like Heparin here, Nana Inima, we also supported businesses last year to the Biashara and the AU MSME Forum that took place in Namibia. So this is an ongoing thing, something we plan to keep for the next couple of years. Every quarter, we have a session to fill the gap that MSME needs to be able to trade under the AfCFTA. So at this point, I'll pass it on to my colleague, Edith, from the Nigeria Country Office to give her example.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Edith from UNDP Nigeria's team, and I'm going to be telling you about our HER AfCFTA program, which is a special initiative targeting women to be able to trade under the AfCFTA. And we have 3 pillars which addresses all the challenges we've heard our panelists speak about, what AfWITrade has spoken about: access to information, access to markets, access to infrastructure, and all of that. So we have 3 core pillars of her AfCFTA we are calling her knowledge, her network, her facility. Under her knowledge, it's a lot of capacity building, knowledge sharing on AfCFTA protocols. What do you need to do? How do you need to package your goods? What kind of documentation do you need to send your goods outside of Nigeria to the rest of the world? Under her network, we have something we call the HER AfCFTA Forum, which is an annual event. We had the first one last year, December, which brought around 500 women together. We had representation from the Nigerian Customs Service, the Nigerian Export Promotion Service, the Shippers Council, and then the businesses were able to directly share their challenges with these regulatory authorities to get feedback directly, because one of the challenges we had heard from them is that there's some kind of distance between them. They're not able to get information as fast as they need, and there's too many middlemen in the process. So we brought the right people into the room. We brought the businesses there so they could talk to them. Another aspect of her network is these B2B sessions we have. So last year we were able to take 14 Nigerian businesses to Namibia for the 3rd AU MSME Forum. And this year we have some of them in Algeria for the IATF. And the purpose of these trade fairs and these platforms is to allow them meet their peers, learn from them, see what opportunities are out there and potential business partnerships that can emerge out of these trade fairs. So that's what her network seeks to achieve. Under her facility, we have trade and investment facilitation, where we are able to put businesses in touch with potential distributors. So, for example, we have a partner we work with that is helping us secure purchase orders, especially for agri-products coming out of Nigeria. And we've had a lot of successes so far. So we have almost $33 million worth of purchase orders that are waiting to be met. And while this is a huge amount, the challenge that we have seen is that the businesses don't have the capacity to meet such demands fast enough. So there's money on the table that's not being taken because of a capacity issue, which also is covered under her facility, where we identify high potential businesses, provide them with equipment support, not individual businesses who belong to a cluster, because we prefer to work with groups. it scales down faster if you target a group or an association rather than a private business. So businesses that are high potential that belong to a cluster or an association, we provide them with solar powered equipment that can help them scale their production. So that's covered under her facility. So that while we are giving you money to be able to scale your production, you also get the equipment that can help you move with speed. I'm going to round up very quickly and introduce our businesses to share their experience. But another aspect is beyond giving them money, beyond giving them purchase orders, beyond getting them financing support, we also have something we are building called the MSME Growth Hub in partnership with the Small and Medium Scale Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria. It's a mouthful, SMEDAN for short. We're building an MSME Growth Hub that's going to be a one-stop shop for MSMEs in Abuja. That's our pilot state. They're going to have access to these regulatory authorities who are going to come on a weekly basis. We're going to find a suitable schedule where they can come to that space and get access to help and information quickly rather than go to the offices. We're also going to provide a content studio, a photography studio, branding support through another program that the UNDP Nigeria runs called the NJFP Fellowship Program, where we pay, we give young graduates placement support so that they can also build their skills, and then we pay for it in partnership with the European Union and the Office of the Vice President. So that's the kind of support that we offer to our businesses under her AfCFTA. Quickly, some of the achievements so far, and then you hear from the horse's own mouth. So since we launched last year, just about 1.5 years post her AfCFTA launch, we've empowered more than 500 women entrepreneurs with access to markets, knowledge on branding, AfCFTA protocols, and market access. We've also been able to facilitate deal rooms that have unlocked worth 6.1 million in trade opportunities for Nigerian businesses in the Eastern African market. We launched the market intelligence tool in Q2 of this year with the Ministry of Trade that maps opportunities for Nigerian businesses in 13 African countries in Eastern and Southern Africa. We work with Uganda Airlines, so I'm happy the Mauritian or the lady from Seychelles has heard about the opportunity because we work together with the UNDP regional team and UNDP Nigeria team to come up with this deal with Uganda Airlines for Nigerian businesses to be able to access the Eastern and Southern African market. And we are starting with Uganda and South Africa. So I'm sure the reciprocity is going to favor the rest of the other countries, and eventually we can scale across. We facilitated trade and investment. So we've built a portfolio of about 30 investors for Nigerian businesses, targeting more the agri entrepreneurs because that's where there's more demand currently. And we are driving innovation and sustainability by focusing on purchasing solar-powered equipment, solar-powered solutions that can also help drive scale and sustainability. So to round up, I'm going to introduce...
My colleague, we need to
okay.
cut it short. And
just shortly.
No, yeah, actually, okay.
So
okay,
I'm going to introduce Ms. Adebisi Odeleye from More Organics and Ms. Nneamaka Nwosisi from Magnisi Brands in 2-3 minutes to share their experiences of her AfCFTA. A round of applause, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adebisi Odeleye. I'm the founder of More Organics, and I am also the president of Academy for Women Entrepreneurs that have over 800 women in Nigeria. And I'll be speaking to those two things because I'm not the only one that benefited from the, after my women in the association has also benefited. So at the launch, one of the things I think I love really, really about UNDP Nigeria is that they listen. There was in July there was a program where we had all the government agencies and some of the entrepreneurs, women-led entrepreneurs in a building, and we profiled solutions. We told them our pain points, and by the time we were at the launch of the like 2 months later, those solutions were already recommendations that the regional director mentioned that we'll be working on. And that made it quite easy for us to, scale and benefit from the impacts that they're making. At the launch of our AfCFTA, I remember that within 3 hours, our women made about 5 million naira in just 3 hours at an exhibition, and that is access to market. And apart from that, we benefited a lot of access to market, international market. Loom Chocolate is our member. She was at African Connect at Rwanda. I was in Namibia, and I'm here right now, as well as Loom Chocolate and a couple of other women. Another thing that they did was that they paid for our corporate members to be part of WASIMA. And being part of WASIMA means being in part of a bigger body. So whatever Nigeria is doing for entrepreneurs, especially women-led businesses, the women, over 800 women are benefiting from it. So it's beyond just individuals. It's about doing things for community of women. And I can say for sure that a lot of women have benefited from capacity building, from access to market, access to finance, and even equipment grants. So for this, I would like to say thank you. And even right here in Algeria, part of the things that we've benefited is that we have standby interpreters that are helping us to close deals. And I mean, communication is a major thing when it comes to trade. Ability to communicate and close deals has been done. And aside from that, we've also been able to meet different distributors across different countries in the world. Thank you very much.
So my name is Namaka Nwosisi, and I'm the CEO of a brand called McNisi Collections. We make handbags and fashion accessories in Nigeria, and I'm also deputy coordinator for the youth chambers of commerce in Nigeria. So I'm going to talk about just 3 things, and I know we're running out of time. Working with the UNDP after program has given us visibility and networking. Being part of the program has opened doors for us that wouldn't normally, or put us in rooms that we wouldn't normally be able to work into. And we've met different people, policymakers, trade experts that are helping us with different things, especially things like capacity building, how to brand our products better, sharpening our knowledges about the rules, making our business export ready. And I'm not talking about myself, just like Adebisi spoke about. It's also a lot of other youths and people who are here with us here. We went to Namibia, I was part of the Namibia delegation, and yes, I'm here now in Algeria, and they're helping us close deals. They're helping us talk to buyers, investors. It's just been one positive note after the other. And one of the things we lack is more like, we are not able to, we can't export, we don't know all we need to export. But when you partner with an organization like UNDP, they're training you, they're letting you know what you need to have, and that builds your confidence. That is one thing entrepreneurs don't necessarily have in Africa, because we see a lot of other people in other African countries, we see them do it, but we don't know how to do it. So coming into the after program, all the trainings they've given us has helped us build our confidence. We're here, we're not just talking to buyers, most of us are closing deals, we're signing different deals with people in different countries. Coming out here to North Africa, what I've also taken is even the data we're able to build, understanding what different markets need. People we meet here from different countries telling us this is what we need, this is what we need. So when we're coming out to these countries, or when we want to partner with people, we're partnering with them and giving them actually what they want. So this is me saying thank you to UNDP for not just building us as entrepreneurs, but building us women. Because when you build us, there's so many young people who are looking at us, who are mentoring, who are looking at what we are doing, how we're going, and what we've achieved to be able to achieve those things for themselves. So through the impact in our lives, we're inadvertently affecting so many young people in Nigeria and other parts of Africa. So thank you to UNDP for all that you do for women in trade. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Omaka and Adebisi. I'd like to hand over to my colleagues. You've heard from the horses. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, the team from UNDP, Nigeria and Ghana and the SMEs having shared their experience with us. So given that we are out of time, so we won't make the session too long. Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, we'll take a picture, but first of all, we'll call back our regional trade advisor of UNDP, who's going to close the session.
Thanks. I think we have given a few more minutes apparently, but I think it's for us and for me, it's good that you listen directly to our colleagues from the country offices, but also the businesses. It's true, I didn't hear any challenge from anyone, but we still know there are still challenges. So maybe we can open, if you allow me, Madam Chair, for some Q&A. But I think one thing that is very important, and maybe Colette didn't insist on a lot, is our work is really we leverage on partnership, which whether at the country level, at the regional level. So partnership is quite important to us. That's why I think we're also looking into how we can leverage partnership with AfWITrade, for instance. We are working with Pan-African Chamber of Commerce, Industry, PASI, WinCat is there, and so and so. And in some programs, we also leverage on the partnership with the AfCFTA, Secretariat, Afreximbank, and so on, so on. So maybe we can open now for some Q&A, unless everything is clear. Over, thank you. We also have some other UN country offices in the room. If they want to share one or two, I think they lead. Let me.
Thank you very much. My name is Agnes Mbabazi. I come from Uganda, and I'm in agriculture space. My question is, I've heard so much about West Africa and the other parts of the world. I'm just wondering, do you have this kind of arrangements in Uganda? And if they are there, how do you connect us to be able to establish some partnerships with them? Thank you so much.
Should I go?
Hello? I think mine is more or less.
So this is Richard Singuzi from UNDP Sierra Leone. We didn't get a chance to share our experience, but we also have a growth accelerator program where we are supporting exclusively women-led businesses. My point is, I saw most of the things that are done in Ghana and Nigeria are almost the same. So I think we also need, my comment is, we need to really have some cross-learning, even as UNDP. The same growth accelerator program we have in Sierra Leone almost is the same that my colleague in Ghana has, my colleague in Nigeria. So how are we learning from each other? And like you rightly say, there are challenges, but how do we manage these challenges? I also wanted to take 1 minute to ask one of the SMEs from Sierra Leone to give her experience before I pass on the mic to another person. Thank you.
It's not clear. Good afternoon. I'm Dalanda from Sierra Leone. So I've been supported by UNDP with capacity training and then with financial assistance. I'm the first SME in Sierra Leone to have a factory supported by UNDP. And also coming to this exhibition, what I've also learned, people don't know about Sierra Leone and they don't know that we do cosmetics. So with UNDP supporting Share More, it's not only for me representing now, but other businesses coming from Sierra Leone. So the support extends to all of us in the country. Thank you so very much to UNDP. We have access to market, wider market, visibility. We are trying to dominate our local market before we move into the sub-regions and Africa as a whole. We have challenge, and that is logistics, how we can get our market across borders. We are in Rwanda last year, and I got some deals, but I cannot complete them because of logistics. Even recently to yesterday, I met a few of my customers from Rwanda, and they're asking how can we get the product to Tanzania? But logistics is a big challenge. So for now, we are going to focus on dominating our local market because we have high importation of substandard cosmetics. Thank you so very much, UNDP.
Thank you. And this is a discussion. AfWIT can also respond to logistics solutions. If anyone has a logistics solution, please, you can come in. I'm sure you have AI logistics solutions for us. Maybe maybe that was the first one. So for Uganda, what I will say is we do not have our Uganda colleague here at the fair, but we will also connect you for them to share with you what they are doing. But usually it's similar across countries. But my brother, we will take it and discuss. Indeed, we need to see how we all come together and optimize. I think this is also an opportunity here in Algeria already, something we started. So I think for Uganda, we will yes. So let's take other round, unless you want to also respond to the logic solution before we move here. And let's make it more discussions now. And if anyone has any intervention, we still have 15 minutes for this session, 10 minutes, and then, yeah.
You're in the right place, the logistic. She's here, she's coming just after this. She's gonna talk about logistic and how you can solve all that, the whole process with I think you can see there, the people who are hosting this, Afreximbank, all the way to the buyer. So keep staying here and we'll give you all those solutions. They are there. That's why we brought them here. Over to you.
3 rounds of comments. My sister, we were in the same panel yesterday. She raised her hand first. Huh? It's not because then you and then my brother.
I'll be quick. I'll be very quick. No, I just wanted to compliment. To compliment both the UN and of course AfWIT for the fantastic work that you're doing here. I work with we've got a technology and investment firm in the UK, and I work very closely with the African Continental Free Trade Area. So I wanted to emphasize to everybody, especially the women, who are in the room, that we've got the Women and Youth protocol as well to support you in your ambitions that you want to look at. And then, of course, on the digital side, we've got quite a few solutions as well to support you in your growth. And then, of course, the big one that we heard about is the access to capital. So we've got a 10 million women fund that we will be introducing to support African women, especially, who are seeking capital to grow their business. So again, here really to support, happy to hear more and more from women who are looking for capital and finance, and we're able to help. And of course, we have the AI solutions as well, as you said. So very, very excited. And so, yeah, congratulations for a great event. Thank you.
Thank you. The challenge also I've seen in a lot of plenaries, we didn't have really interactions. So it's always good to have those small group discussions. We will have Q&A at the end, so we can take everyone. Let's take the last 2, as she has been waiting for. Okay. So let's take the 3, you, my brother, and Kenya. Then we will come back.
Okay, thank you, everyone. My name is Grace Titi Fredson. I'm the president of Nigerian Women in Agricultural Business Cooperative Society. We're a national APEX, and we have primary societies affiliated with us. So early this year, we produced as dry season for Niger Food. If you check on the Niger Food website, our organization produced for Niger Food across the 25 LGAs. We did the paddy rice over 540, and we had issues with TEF and so many things aggregating, because the contract was for us to cultivate and aggregate to their warehouse. So it wasn't, yes, we did, but we lost, they gained. So we decided as a cooperative society this time, rather than do outgrower scheme, we want to do in-grower scheme, something a bit different. So we acquired land from some of the MIs. So we have a 5,000 hectare here and there to do segregated cultivation. It's a bit new in Nigeria, where women-led will all be in one location. So you're talking about cluster farming, but this farm more than cluster farming. We're talking about thousands of hectares. So we're discussing now closing our deals, even with Dangote for their gigawatt milling for us to produce for them. And we would like to know if UNDP and any other development partner would like to work with us, because it means high technical put things together. So that's, I would really like to know how we can work together to make this bespoke a success. Thank you.
Good day. I want to thank African Women in Trade and the UNDP for putting this together. What I would like to bring here is about the non-tariff measures, because we know even before the introduction of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the major problem that actually existed was not the tariffs, but mostly the non-tariff measures. So, and hearing from some of us here, the lady that went to Rwanda to learn about, concluded some deals, and then it was not easy to put into practice. And the one from Seychelles and the Mauritius going to South Africa. I'd like to know, up to this stage, how do you actually manage those challenges coming from non-tariff measures? And is it possible for UNDP to be in contact with the AFTA secretariat and see if there are ways to do some facilitation for especially the young entrepreneurs who are entering into other markets? Because for the big entrepreneurs, sometimes they have a way to go around it. Because personally, I grew up also in ECOWAS region where we have free trade area, but I know moving goods from one country to another was not as easy as it is on the paper. Thank you.
Hello. So my name is Sarah. I run a leather business in Kenya. I don't know if most of you know, but we are one of the biggest exporters of leather in Kenya. But now we're trying to get more into finished goods and exposing what you can do in Africa. But one of the things I feel is representation, because most of the companies that are standing, it's all about Nigeria, different Nigerian companies supporting Nigeria. And I feel like as an East African, I haven't felt much of representation. And the other thing, so maybe next time when you're organizing, we can have a bit, because in terms of different companies that support women and businesses, you can feel it's mostly from the Western Africa part. And the other thing I'd love to talk about is if we, or you guys, working with us, can have a platform where we can sell around Africa, because from what she said, the women she supports, from what she said, and a country like Kenya is a very big consumer of shea butter, and most shea butter comes from either West Africa or Uganda. So if we can have a platform where we can buy African things from Africa, you know, and yeah, because there's one of the biggest platform for handmade products is called Etsy. Etsy is run, I think, from Europe. And I think what Etsy has done is it's actually decided to lock out the African businesses. So what a request is, I mean, we don't need to depend on an American company or a European company to sell our products. So please, 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 if you guys can, this is a forum for African businesses. And one of the things we'd love to do as African businesses is have a platform to work together. Whether I want to buy shea butter from Sierra Leone, there's Sierra Leone, where I want to buy cosmetics from Nigeria, it's there. So I think that's what I wanted to talk about. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, 30. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Can she get the 30 seconds, please?
Thank you, Komi. It's good to see you again, and of course, everybody else. So my name is Dr. Oloriboye Ajayi, Managing Partner at Borderless Trade and Investments. And to your comment, actually, I wasn't going to say anything, but I think one of the things that I've found that has made a shift for women entrepreneurs in Africa is Afreximbank as an institution. The Africa Trade Gateway actually does what you've just asked, which is buying and selling. It doesn't have to just be with women. And I say that because the continent is massive. The enormousness of our continent means let's try and have aggregated efforts. The moment we start having all these little things here and there, then it's not inclusive enough to ensure that you actually get the benefits of trading amongst ourselves, right? So I would strongly suggest the pavilion for Afreximbank is in the big annexes. Go there, tell them, I want to sign up for ATG, the whole thing. Are you on Mansa? Are you on Mansa? You are? No, she's not. Right. Well, you said logistics. So in my mind, I'm like, well, let's mention ATG because in case, it's not there. I do some work for the bank. So that's why I'm also speaking on their behalf. All right. Thank you, Komi.
Thanks very much. Look, what I like in the session is it's not everything on the paper we can exchange, share. So look, thanks very much. And how many of us has been at the Afreximbank as business? Can you raise your hand? Afreximbank stand. Well, not much, huh? Not much. Please, I don't know next time you're going to Egypt to meet Afreximbank people. But please, I think a lot of partners are here. So when you are here, please reach out. Reach out, reach out. Everything cannot be organized. So please reach out, reach out, reach out. That's quite important. We still have two days to go. So we're going to close, but what I want to say, I don't know if any of my colleagues want to respond quickly to any of the question raised. I just want to also emphasize that, no, it's not like Nigeria is dominating here. Maybe in the sample, because the program, for example, in Nigeria started earlier as far as UNDP is concerned. Ghana also started. Mauritius started at a point. So we have Mauritius Seychelles. They are here as well. You are from Kenya, you are here. So Nigeria is not dominating. The program started, but we just want to show you what's happening in Nigeria, Mauritius, Ghana is also happening in other countries. So do you want any of the colleagues want to respond to any issue?
I think the woman from the National Association, we can take it bilaterally.
Okay. So thank you very much. So we can, I think the discussion will continue. But thanks for all the points. Next time we're going to make sure we are well represented. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together for this wonderful panel. What a nice session, an interactive session. That's what it's all about. It's not about us talking to you because the answers are literally in the room. What she said, she gave you a solution. So yes. So we are so grateful. And we'll just take a picture before. Yes, please. I think it's good to take a picture now before you leave. May I ask if you can ask you to join the team. Thank you. And then we don't go because we still have ATG coming to speak to you. We have ACFTA coming to talk to you. So we have a lot in store for you. Thank you so much for your patience. All right, thank you. Put your hands together for them. What a good session. And as I said, thank you, Jim. Is this yours, please? That's all right. That's all right. Yes, thank you. So you can see the questions that I talked about that buyers are experiencing between the buyers and sellers are actually being answered. The answers are in the room. So I hope you're looking for where the how for you, for your SME. You're looking at the people who have the answers, the people you need to follow after this so that you can actually be able to implement exactly what you're looking for. So thank you very much. And we are now going to have the AfCFTA coming to talk to us. All right, sorry. A little slight change, sorry, Dave. We are going to go to a different session. I've been corrected, I stand corrected. We will have a session where we will have the Africa Trade Gateway from Afreximbank come and talk to us. We'll have a little fireside chat. And I'd like to invite on stage Joy Zenz from Africa Women in Trade, AfWITrade, the CEO, on stage, and also introduce Annerose Ngemu, are representing Afreximbank. Thank you very much.
Wow, 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 wow. I love that. Oh, the question came in just the right time, so she can answer all of them. And we made them very easy. As you can see, we are not formal, informal like we are women. We have to say, to approach women, we have to stay in the informal sector. So I briefed all of them to break it down, especially the bank people. It can be complicated, but they're here. So today I'm very happy because I brought the right person here. I've been talking to her since the last Intra-Africa Trade Fair, which was my first one ever in Cairo. And when I went to the stand, I was just walking around. I only know PAPs. I'm seeing all these names, Mansa, I don't know what. No, the men are not talking to us women, so we disappear. We come back again. We figure it out. Who are these people? I need to know because my women need to know what do they offer. And I met her. She broke it down for me. I was like, what? This is what we want. Why are we not being told? So she has done a beautiful job for the last year until now. We ended up being here on the stage. I told her, you're going to tell us in your own platform that you host, break it down for the women who are here. It's open for everyone to come and understand, as a woman, as a trader, what does this mean to you? What is Afreximbank? First of all, when we hear bank, it's big for us women. But does it give you money? No, this is not a commercial bank. So she'll break it down for us. And she has been really powerful in that area. So I'll let her introduce herself, break it down for the women. What is Afreximbank as it goes to the question later?
So first, thank you very much for having me on stage and thank you for the compliment. My name is Annerose Ngemu. I sit in Cairo within Afreximbank in global trade. And within global trade, we look after trade finance. So the cluster looks after trade finance, capital markets, what we call syndication, and then we have digital business, which is where I sit. And my role within the bank is to look after the Africa Trade Gateway that I'm going to break down today. Just to quickly summarize what the bank is and what we do, like Joy said, we are a DFI, we are not a commercial bank. And because we are a DFI, we work with all our member states. So we operate in all the, I think 53 out of the 55 African countries, and we are in 12 countries out of the 15 countries in the Caribbean. So our model is, because we are owned by the member states, our mandate is to promote and finance, trade and trade enabling infrastructure. So we do that through different trade actors in each of our member states. So of course, the banks, the trade associations, and really anyone within the trade ecosystem. So that's what we do. We have so many programs, initiatives that we run in the bank. And so today I will specifically focus on that which I run. And of course, like the previous speaker said, if you really want to understand the bank very well, please make sure you visit our pavilion because all the technical teams are in the pavilion and you will be able to get all the answers from trade facilitation to the trade finance to the strategic initiatives to our subsidiaries. So you'll be able to get all the answers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As you have said, trade finance. We are here because of trade. So my question, asking you very, very simply is, SMEs which are here. Most of them are small, but I guess if you're here, you are not small, you're trading. How can ATG make it easier for, let's start from Kenya, since we started from Kenya, to export to Ghana without fearing, we start from there, fearing of being scammed. Let's start from there.
Okay, so first let me quickly break down what the ATG is, because once you understand what it is, then you'll be able to see why you shouldn't actually be scared to take advantage of the single market that has been created by the SCFTA, because the SCFTA has done its work, I must say, of ensuring that we have a single market that is large enough. And now the work is on us to really take advantage of that single market. But like you put it, trade is really around, it's about trust. So if I don't trust Joy, I will not even sit in our panel to just even speak to the women that she work with. So there's a trust bit. Then once you establish the trust, you need to find out the opportunities that exist in a specific market, understand what rules you need to comply with when you get to that market. And then once you've understood the rules, first you've understood there's an opportunity, you understand there's the rules that you need to comply with. The next question becomes, like we all know, to travel across these African countries, sometimes you need visa, you need to go to Europe and come back to Africa. You need to be practical, you need to have alternative ways of being able to connect to these markets. Because once you discover there's demand, say in Nigeria for your Kenyan product, you may not even be able to get a visa to go to Nigeria, but you should be able to sell in the Nigerian market. So that's the other thing. Then once you've done all that, you need to be able to move, to find a way of moving the goods. You need to be able to deal with the non-tariff barriers, like one of the speakers mentioned. You need to be able to get paid. And in some cases where you have excess demand, you need to find a partner that finances so that you can be able to supply the demand. So with all those things in mind, what we did is to look at beyond the work that we do, which is providing, which is our core anyway in trade finance in terms of financing, how can we leverage digital technologies to build an ecosystem or an infrastructure that practically enables businesses to take advantage of the single market. And so with that question in mind, we looked at the barriers that I just mentioned. So we started with trust and realized that if we can facilitate businesses to, they themselves provide their own credentials about their businesses and get what we call a digital identity identifier, we call it an African entity identifier, then any other business that they deal with would be able to trust them, because in the middle, we are seated as Afreximbank providing that infrastructure. So the way we address that is through an initiative we call the Mansa Digital Business Initiative that basically we collect KYC and due diligence information about businesses, put it in the repository and make it available, of course, on consent to other counterparties that may want to trade with a particular business. So the first step, like we said, trust, you need to ensure that your information is captured in Mansa and you have an AEI code. Now, once you get that AEI code, the next thing is, like I mentioned, you need to be able to quickly find out where opportunities exist for your product or for whatever you're looking at. And so what then we came up with is a solution that enables businesses to very quickly be able to get into a tool that provides them with opportunities by simply keying in the product that they sell. So if you sell shea butter, then you can be able to see which countries need shea butter, what are the volumes that they need, what are the regulations you need to meet, and we are working with the SCFTA to put in the rules of origin. So you have all the information that you need. Then after you've gathered that information, or assuming that you have that information, then the next question is, how do I then make the sale? How do I start now connecting with these businesses to sell? Because they are verified like me, and there's demand in this market. So we brought in what we call an trade exchange, which is purely a B2B, business to business and business to government e-commerce marketplace. So there you get set up as a buyer or seller. If you're a seller, you upload your catalog of goods, and we begin connecting you with verified businesses across the continent. So if you can be able to meet the demand, if you can be able to meet the quality that they need, then you have the market. You don't have to really, unless you want to go and visit a particular country, you don't really need to travel in that particular country. You can sell. So we put that in place. Then once we completed the parts that the businesses themselves need about trust, information, and the platform for them to do the actual introduction in terms of the quantities they need and establishing a trade contract. We then reached out to the banks to be part of the entire movement in terms of participating in that exercise. Why? Because the next thing that you as a business will want to know is, how will I get paid? And if I don't have capital, how I'll be financed. So we brought in banks that we work with in our trade finance programs to come on board and be able to support their clients at initial stages, so that when a client finds demand and they connect with a particular counterparty who is verified, then they can go back to their bank, get a letter of credit if the supplier wants a letter of credit, and we confirm and discount. So we remove that barrier. In cases where we have successfully implemented the Pan-African payment and settlement system, which is a game changer in terms of smaller businesses that want to trade cross-border and they may not have the inflows of hard currency, then we now enable the banks themselves to provide you with a payment solution that does not need the hard currencies. So if you're trading in Kenya today and you want to sell in Nigeria, you can use PAPS to have your Kenya shillings, receive your payment in Kenya shillings, and your counterparty in Nigeria uses their Naira to pay you. If you're in Egypt, you're in Algeria, Algeria has just joined the PAPS movement. So once we get the central banks on board and commercial banks within our country, then we now begin enabling businesses to instantly get to match each other, get a contract signed, and receive payments in local currency. So we sorted out the problem for payments. Then the last piece that we are working on is to look at how can we bring in the logistics piece. So the way we've started is very basic, by just looking at logistics providers across Africa who can be part of the ecosystem. We verify them, we take their KYC, make sure they are verified, and you as a buyer on the trade exchange, you can now connect with them directly because we have verified them. So at a basic level, we provided a solution for logistics, but the longer term play is to ensure that we have a digital, almost like Uber, where you can follow your goods once a logistics partner has picked them. So that's the longer term play, but at least there's a workaround at the moment. So that entire ecosystem connected is what we call the Africa Trade Gateway. The solutions that I mentioned are like the first steps. And so as we come across more challenges, the idea is to look at how we can create technology solutions that we can knit together in the Africa Trade Gateway to enable businesses be able to take advantage of the single market that has been created by the SCFTA.
Wow, that's really, I hope you followed the step. Can I do the babysitting one again? You have the Mansa. Yeah, give a big clap, that's true. That's a big one. This is divided into two, as she said. So there's the Mansa. I hope you saw the Mansa is maybe the second one here. I can see from there. And then the ATEX. Okay? And then the ATG. Then the best part about I hope we have buyers here, and she will tell you more of the other side, how they can be, because we have two people here. And we have the sellers and we have the buyers, and I'm one of the buyers. And my challenge is that and we just talked today, we need volumes. Trade is volumes. Container, 20-foot containers, every blah, blah. And my SME cannot. How do you come in to make sure that I receive as a buyer what I need through the ATG?
So that's a very good question. So what, like I mentioned, the bank has a lot of programs. So we also have what we call aggregation. So we have a different initiative that is running that. But from an ATG perspective, the way we are, because remember these challenges is a question of, do you wait for all the challenges to be resolved so that you start taking advantage of the single market, or do you start with what you have and keep building as you move along? And for me, I mean, speaking from a personal experience with the bank, I think what we've done is to run with as many rails as we can to ensure that businesses take advantage of the single markets, and they become the implementers of the SCFTA. They become players in that, you know, in implementing the SCFTA. So to your question on the ATG side, what we've done is to also encourage businesses to start aggregating within themselves and have clusters of a big enough supplier or buyer within ATEX who can then play on behalf of the rest of the businesses. And because we are saying you now have PAPs and we are using technology, it's easy to knit each and every nodes of that interaction, so that as you aggregate and you supply to demand in a different country, the beauty with technology is you can actually get the money reaching the beneficiaries, even when you aggregate. So those are some of the good use cases that I would say that we are really happy to look at how we can resolve for businesses across the continent.
Yeah, so what I hear here is that if I'm asking you containers, yeah, and you're stuck, you need to talk to the ATG program. There is a package where they help you also financially to meet my expectations. So I am also going there as a buyer. I'm also part of that ATG. I go there, tell the ATG, this is my situation. These women cannot give me this much. How can you help me? So they have a lot of financial support as well. So that's where maybe you could chip in, because money is also an issue here to make sure they scale up.
Okay, so let me set the expectations right. Like I mentioned, we work through financial institutions in all the member states. We have very many programs. We even have an SME development program that we work with banks to reach the SMEs. So the way, once you're on the ATG, the way we approach financing is not a direct commercial arrangement between the players on the ATG and Afreximbank. We will still have the commercial banks as partners within the ATG, and I will show the numbers of the commercial banks that are already participating. So the way we do it is we've reached out to all the banks. I think in all the banks that we work with, we've reached out to them, we are engaging them. And the idea is to ensure that once they're within the ATG, we can work with them to structure financing that flows through them to support the trades that are happening on the ATG. So specifically what we are doing right now is we have what we call an Africa Trade Facilitation Program, where we give banks, we work with banks, extend a line of credit to the banks. And once a buyer, say in Kenya, has found a supplier, say in Singapore, and the Singaporean needs a confirmed LC, the buyer then will go to their Kenyan bank. They will be assessed by their Kenyan bank. The LC will be issued. Then we will come in to do the confirmation, because the other challenge also with African financial institutions is the global perception of risk, where their own instruments are not accepted globally. And so we come in to ensure that whether you're banking with a very small bank or the largest bank in a country, you don't really have to worry about that, as long as you're part of our Africa Trade Facilitation Program, because then we will be able to confirm an LC for your client that has been issued by a bank which is part of our network. Like I mentioned, PAPS is a big thing for us, and it's something that we are deliberately really pushing for businesses, because I think there's one speaker who mentioned that we tend to focus so much on markets outside Africa, but the market here is very big. So that's why we are really saying that if we can get PAPS, working for as many businesses as possible across the continent, then we can now then start looking at how do we go beyond the continent and structures financing that fit the kind of businesses that will be transacting or trading on the trade gateway.
Wow, thank you. So my questions are done. I want to go down here, the ones who asked the question and the ones who want to ask question. I want to go to the ones who asked the question of logistic, and the other one about the Kenyan. You had also issue with it and solution. Have we answered your question for logistic, or do you want more clarification?
More clarification, please.
Could you ask? I don't know whether you had her question before. Were you here?
Yes, I was here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let us know your challenge.
So for me, my challenge is how I can get my product, even if it's not 20 feet container, less than that, how I can get it across to other countries within the continent.
Okay, so let me repeat what I said. So what I said within the gateway is we are bringing in logistics providers in the continent. So once you're on, and it's a chain, because for you to access that logistics partner, you need to have started engaging a counterparty on ATEX, who then say you meet a Kenyan buyer who is buying your goods from Sierra Leone, and you agree that, say, you'll be paid in Kenya shillings. They are happy to pay in Kenya shillings, and you're happy to receive your payment in local currency. They will use PAPS to make the payment. Then the next question will be, how do I get my product? So what we've done is to put in verified logistics partners that you can then connect with it in the ecosystem and get them to move your goods from your country to the customer in Kenya, irrespective of the size. And that's why I said for logistics, we've started with a very basic way of solving the problem, because it's indeed a big problem. Yeah.
Okay, I hear we are growing, we're getting there, and it's possible. So the Kenyan, you had a question in regards to Afreximbank. Were you answered?
Thank you so much. I think this was extremely informative, and I think as per now, I'm very satisfied with what I've gotten to learn.
Thank you very much. My name is Kamaldeep. I run a business by the name of Malaika Gifts. I've actually registered for Mensa, and I wanted to find out, I did not get any AIE code. Does it come straight away after you register, after they do due diligence?
So for you to get the AEI code, because it's the highest level of compliance. So again, with compliance, we also can't put all the businesses on the same level, because it's about the amount of information that is collected. So we have what we call tiers. So we do a tiering system. And once you get to the top tier of information, you've supplied all the information that Mansa needs, then now you're issued with an African entity identifier. So there are a lot of classes of information that you need to provide, and they need to verify that information. So we have a specific, within the pavilion, we have, maybe before I say that, let me just come down to one point that I think I should bring to the attention of the audience. These tools that I've mentioned, they're digital tools. Below each of the digital tools, the bank has put in technical expertise, because it's not just about technology. It's not just about you putting your goods on ATEX and you are on a platform. No. The platform is just an enabler. So below each of ATEX, compliance, MANSA, the trade intelligence, everything that I've mentioned, there are technical people in the bank who look after those solutions. So within the stand, we have the people who do the trade intelligence. We have the MANSA people there, so you can actually go there and they will real-time check what your account problem is. And we also have the ATG stand there. So you can get all that sorted actually before you leave. And if you don't get it sorted, I can always sort it out for you when I go back. Yeah.
Thank you very much for the presentation. My name is Grace, also from Kenya. I'm a manufacturer of leather and textile products, distributing mainly to retail markets. I'm curious about the part of working with banks in terms of us accessing financing. I've attempted to access like 3 banks from Kenya, following an engagement with an agency called E4Impact. They have partnered with yourselves to accelerate women organizations to access the banking opportunities. But banks will hardly share this information. I attempted to ask about it, and I noticed that it's not in their radar. It's not something available for us, easily accessible through banks, because their priority is their own funds. So would you consider another channel or have a way that this communication is easily accessible? Because if I am going there with a letter from Afreximbank and I'm told that we don't know about this partnership by the banking manager whom I'm supposed to be accessing the LPO financing or supporting me with my LC. So I think it is very important to explore how this communication is coming out and how actual implementation by the banks, because of their priorities being conflicting with your priority.
Yes, so speaking to that, like I mentioned, remember that when we work with banks and you bank with a bank, they will still have to do their process in terms of looking at your account history and all that before they can make a decision. But coming to your point, the reason digital is so important is because part of the reasons banks shy away from SMEs is because they don't have they don't have the data. So the reason this gateway is so important for Africa is because we're actually starting to do something that has never been done for the continent, getting to show the banks that this segment that you're ignoring is actually a very good segment, because they only know what they know from what you go and show them in the bank account. But imagine a scenario, because the banks are part of the Africa Trade Gateway, and that's what we are also telling them. Imagine a scenario where your bank, from the time you start speaking to a supplier, say in Nigeria, they can actually see that transaction and they can verify that your supplier in Nigeria is real. They will, of course, be interested because they exist to finance. But when you go there and show them maybe an order that you're making, they are trying to figure out, is this real, is it fake? So we also need, as Africans, to start looking at first our compliance. That's why MANSA is very important, so that when we say we should be trusted, there should be a central piece of repository that counterparties can verify that what we are saying we are is who we are. And then, of course, we need to, because we are in trade, we are trading, we need to be comfortable with showing the banks the trade that we are doing, so that then they can also be able to get comfortable with the level of risk they are taking. So for me, that's the way I would look at it. Just very quickly, before Joy comes with another question, I wanted you to just appreciate the full ecosystem from a business perspective, because what I took you through is the technology. And the technology is not the one that is doing trade. The community of participants in the gateway is where the trade happens. So when we bring in businesses from all the African countries into the gateway, then we are beginning to show different businesses the opportunities that exist. We are beginning to create almost an intra-African trade fair virtually. So you can begin reaching out, getting to understand the ecosystem, getting to understand who can I trade with. You get to verify them. You also get to start understanding how you can package yourself so that the banks can look at you. And the banks also, like I mentioned, starts looking at you. They are implementing PAPs as banks. But quite honestly, PAPs will not move unless you're inside there, because you're the ones generating the transactions. So you need to be able to trade with a Nigerian company, with an Egyptian company, so that then PAPs can take off. Otherwise, then we'll keep saying PAPs is a story, but it's because you, the businesses, are not trading amongst each other, so there are no transactions to flow through PAPs, which is why the trade gateway is quite an important piece for actually PAPs to bring in the benefits that is meant to bring for the continent. In terms of numbers, we have covered 35 countries. We have over 90 commercial banks that are part of the trade gateway, meaning that internally the managements of the banks have approved that they want to roll out the Africa Trade Gateway to their customers. We have over 35,000 businesses that are now in the Mansa repository verified, and it's growing very fast. And in terms of active buyers and sellers on ETX, remember these are active and very carefully selected businesses who are supplying and buying amongst each other. We have 9,000, and then we have over 3.5 billion US dollars billion of requests for proposals in terms of a buyer and seller connecting and beginning the discussion that has been generated. So we know that it will take off, and for us we are here to, as the ATG team, to say that this is not just a platform, it's the community, and the community is you and me, it's the institutions in the continent, to make the ATG work and make the SEFTA work, because we need to make it work for ourselves. Thank you.
Wow. Yes, wow. Thank you. A big hand clap. That was really broken down to you. That is kind of where you can start from. And that's why an organization like Africa Women in Trade, we're here to actually make you run faster with it, because they are starting now, getting now, register, work with them, walk the talk. They have restructured and structured until they got you where they are, to make sure that they reach you, which is so important. And I also want to thank also you for coming, because it's so important that you're coming here to explain this over and over again. I can't imagine how many times you have to explain that. And it's so important also for you. The numbers are not the thing for me. It's the impact that I bring. If one or two of you come back to me and tell me they made it, they actually made it, and I'm one of them. PAPS, our organization ran under with EcoBank. We too chose it purposely, because we have to do transaction with different countries. So when you're big, when your membership from Ghana to Kenya, it's registered in Kenya. We use the Kenyan one, but I can do business with anyone. I don't have to use euro. I don't have to use US dollar. I can use Kenya shillings direct. And they have been walking the talk with us. There's ECO, but there's so many. Just to check which country you are, because it's easier to do business. It's working. And I'm in Germany and you're here. Why is it not working? It's this internet you need and it will work for you. So please give us the feedback, because it's also good for her to know whether is it working. And when you got stuck, like the way you say, Mansa, you didn't get the number, we need to know. Maybe in the system, we had their tools. Tools can also have their own issues. Let's see how we can do it. I can see you want to ask a question.
Actually want to mention a challenge I've been experiencing. I think probably everyone who's in Algeria is experiencing. So Algerian dinar and Kenyan dinar is literally Kenyan shillings is literally 1:1, right? Even when I was booking my hotel, if I was paying, let's say 100,000 dinar, it charged my credit card 100,000 shillings. But then now the problem comes because of the whole dollar thing. It brings a lot of complications because our dollar and their dollar is completely different, because when you're playing at the level of the dollar, it almost doubles it up. So I think whatever you're introducing is amazing. And I wanted to say, thank you for trying to solve that problem.
And it's instant. I don't think it takes long. When I did conversation between two countries, it was instant payment on the tools. So this work is quite helpful. So thank you so much. Unless there's something else banning, I want them to go to the stand. That's where the whole information is. Because if you don't go there, you never know. And if your woman insists to talk to those good-looking gentlemen standing there with suits, don't be scared with the suits. Insist. That's what we did. We insist to talk. But I think there's a question here we forgot from a gentleman. We have gentlemen here. Please don't feel shy. Don't feel shy. Is everyone included?
Thank you. I have been able to defeat the shyness that you talk about, so now I can ask questions. My question is on the PAPS side. I'm a diaspora Nigerian based in Switzerland. And when we come here, we do visit a lot of stands where we buy a few things, especially in textile, cosmetics. And sometimes you would like to order more, for example. And last time I was speaking with Elise from the Department of PAPS about development of another instrument that can help the diaspora bring in money for investment or even buy African products without passing through the traditional money transfer operators that we know, where most of the commission goes to companies that are not based in Africa. We are thinking about having also a Pan-African money transfer operator through which we could order for products from Africa that can come to us in the diaspora. Then the commissions and everything will remain within Africa. So I don't know if there's any development in that area for now. Thank you.
Yes, I think the way I'll answer it is that we started off with, on PAPS, we started with what we call instant payment. So instant payment meaning you have to go through your commercial bank, my commercial bank, for us to be able to deal. Then there's a second product that they've introduced again because of seeing the challenges, like you're saying, that we do so much work in the continent, but the money doesn't benefit us. So the second product that they started is what we are calling the PAPS currency marketplace, which is a very good product for large corporates like airlines that operate in several African countries. So if you take Kenya Airways, for instance, they fly in multiple African countries. They do their ticket sales in local currencies in those countries. And at some point, their collections in those countries are stuck. So there are piles and piles of currency outside of Kenya. So that second product is allowing corporates that trade cross-border to be able to swap currencies. So you have a Kenya Airways that has collected, say, Nigerian Naira, Then you have a Dangote that are sold in Kenya, and they have the Kenya shillings facilitating the swap, because Dangote needs a Naira in Nigeria, and Kenya always needs the Kenya shillings in Kenya for their operational cost. So that was the second product that they've done, and it's been rolled out. It's doing very well, and it's very important for trade, because businesses that also trade on the trade gateway can then also be able to leverage that to swap their own currencies with currencies that are easily convertible to the dollar if they, or to the euro if they need to get FX for importation of anything that they need within their business. So it also supports businesses. And then the last one that they've just rolled out is a PAPS card. So if you look at your card today that you're carrying, when you swipe it in Algeria, the switching goes out of the continent and back to the continent. If you're carrying a Kenyan card, swipe in Algeria, if as the switching of the transaction goes to Visa or MasterCard, that is out of the continent, comes back to the continent, and then you have your Kenya shillings or Algerian lira. So Algerian dollar. So what that PAPS card will do is, if you're within the continent and you're carrying the PAPS card, the switching happens within the continent, which means that a lot of that extra cost that was going out is not going to go out. And also, if the exchange fees that essentially benefits players out of the continent can benefit the continent. And so coming to your question is to say that PAPS is a payment rail that is enabling all the different use cases to be implemented. So it's a challenge that I strongly believe that the PAPS team would be able to speak in it in detail in terms of where they are. But I know there are a number of products that at the moment they are on the pipeline that will be rolled out. So just seeing the pace at which they've released relevant products in the market, I'm almost certain that they will be able to provide better context on what that particular challenge you've mentioned. And they're also on the stand. So for those who want to visit the Afreximbank stand and understand more on any of the solutions that I mentioned around the trade gateway, once you get to the Afreximbank pavilion, you go to the booth that is written strategic initiatives. So you'll find PAPS, MANSA, trade information, and the whole information about the ATG in that particular booth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm happy that you asked that question. The next time we have to ask her to take to PAPS, we are mobile transfer. We pay through mobile, these women. we need mobile. I know last time I talked to PAPS, I told them my women do mobile payments.
Yeah, let me speak on that quickly. I know KCB, if you're banking with KCB, they've actually put PAPS on all their delivery channels. So you can use PAPS on the internet, in the branch, and on their mobile banking. And I know there are a number of banks in Ghana that have also done that. So again, if you need to know which banks in Africa have done that, you will find all that information with the PAPS team in the booth.
It looks like there's development. So every year we come, every 2 years, we'll not even be here to listen more. We want to hear feedback. Thank you so much for being here. And
yeah, so I wanted to say next time, what I want to actually do is to sit in the congregation and listen to testimonials from businesses.
Thank you.
That have been on the ATG. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for your time. I know you're a busy lady. She's one of the most important leading the whole stage there, and she's Kenyan, by the way. The one who was saying Nigerians only. Thank you so much. So a big applause. And thank you so much. I'll hand over because now we have very important people, the AFCFTA. Can you start practicing? AFCFTA. Don't say after, kofta, I don't know. No, the whole thing. No, after me. AFCFTA. AfCFTA. Good. Now,
Wow, what a wonderful session. You know, we are here for knowledge, for understanding, and then the wisdom to apply it. Isn't that it? We are here to know the how, and I hope you're seeing the how so far. All right, so my name is Milka Moigai again. I'm one of the moderators from AfWITrade, and we are so glad to host you today. So we now are talking about Intra-Africa Trade. So we've been talking about this organization, AfCFTA. Excuse me, it's quite a mouthful. Excuse me, my voice is gone. All right, it's coming back. There we are. All right, then. So we're talking about how we can trade within the continent. So we are so honored to have a representation from the AfCFTA Secretariat Office, and I'm going to invite Florence, who will tell us how is this thing working for us. So welcome on board, Florence. Thank you.
This one.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello. Hello. Hi, everybody. So my name is Florence Mulenga Sinyangwe. I'm representing the AfCFTA Secretariat, and I just want to thank the people that have gone before me. I think they've done justice to what the needs of the women are. UNDP, Afreximbank, and all the associations that have been here representing the women and the youth and just what Africa wants to achieve. So I won't bore too much of the background information. I'll just go to the nitty-gritties of, I think, what is really needed for this forum, because most of the information has already been provided. So Joy asked us to I think go straight to what do the women really need? So I'll start with just here. I think it's very important to just share, like, these are the protocols that have so far been negotiated. But in terms of what we need as the women, as the youth, I'll focus more into aspects of the digital trade and aspects of the women and youth in trade forum, so that we just see how this is helping us. Before I do so, our partners, so for example, UNDP is providing capacity building for the women so that they're able to trade. And we also have Afreximbank that has come on board to say, how do the protocols or all the protocols, how will we assist? So we know that one of the key challenges for our women is access to finance, or the cost of trade is what is affecting their ability to trade. So we've heard about what the PAPS is doing So on the African Union perspective, that is the AfCFTA, I would say through as a nation of a member states, we need to speak to our governments through our associations to ensure that the banks that we are banking with at home in our countries are registering to be part of the PAPs. Because if your commercial bank is not registered, you will not be able to have these benefits. And the protocol on women and youth has made it possible so that as part of the implementation of the protocol, we are pushing member states to implement, to fully also register so that you are able to benefit some of these things. So as the AfCFTA, we have the e-tariff book. I will speak more into that. And we have the non-tariff online mechanism, reporting mechanism. We also have the private sector database. I understand sometimes you have glitches whereby the system is down and you're not able to register, but please, always review and ensure that you register so that that system will help you with matchmaking and to be able to connect or participate in the value chain that you're actively participating in. And of course, we have the AfCFTA Adjustment Fund. This is also one of the tools that the AfCFTA is implementing. In terms of networking, we have this fora, it's one of them, the Intra-Africa Trade Fair. So when you're at these such fairs, ensure that you connect with as many women as you can. For example, we had lovely ladies who are exporting shea butter. We have ladies that are dealing with cocoa. There's one of the success stories where the lady in Ghana, who is in the cocoa value chain, connected with another lady in Kenya, who is in the cashew value chain, where they were able to come together and now they're able to produce chocolate that has cashews in it. You see, this is part of the value chain, creating linkages and also adding value to the existing value chains. So we are aware there's the Biashara Africa that is expected to take place. So this is another forum that is going to provide an opportunity for you to showcase what you have and also just to network. So now, in terms of the protocol, what is the protocol giving us? So you see, if we just talk about the policy, you will not really get what is it for us. So we know we are a government, we work with government. So the government assists us to work with you. So through the protocol, as part of the implementation, we are saying, government, please help us align these policies that we've negotiated. The talk is now over, let's now implement. So part of this implementation, we are going to simplify trade. So by looking at this trade, so it has the trade facilitation aspect and it has all other aspects. For example, I'll take the trade facilitation. So we are talking about the systems that the different countries or the different regions have are able to speak to each other. For example, if you have a one-stop border post, meaning this system here should speak to that system there so that we simplify the documents. And if there's a mechanism, you know, there's simplified trade regime, like under the EAC, under COMESA, we look at how effective is it. And if our women, our youth are not benefiting from it, how can we assist as an institution? We speak to the regional economic communities, we speak to the existing countries to ensure that this mechanism that has been put in place is working for you. And also understanding that the women are participating with different products. So if there's an existing simplified trade regime, maybe there's an agreed list, and you find that most of the critical products that the women and youth are participating in are not part of the list. we can come in and assist to say, can you consider this list so that most of these products to be added on the list so that our women and our youth are able to participate. Most of the women are shy to participate in cross-border trade. We know we have serious infrastructure challenges. So we are starting with ensuring that our governments support this implementation of the protocol by making sure that the women start trading in a dignified way. So we want to make sure that all those harassments, you don't feel at ease in any way, or if you feel you are harassed, any feeling that you feel I'm not okay, I'm not safe for this to happen to me. We are saying it's very critical that we ensure our borders have facilities where a woman can report if this is they experience such a thing, so that there's also an address mechanism, not just reporting, but there's an address mechanism. And also just to give capacity building to our different officers so that they don't use their power to suppress the woman or the youth. So it's work in progress, but you've seen there's a lot of partners that are coming on board, and we hope we'll be able to achieve what we need so that our women can feel safe. So we are pushing easy access to finance. Not only are we pushing easy access to finance, we are calling on our financial. So you know there's different banks. For example, I'll give an example with Equity Bank. We also have Eco Bank, because of their heavy presence in many countries. They have come up with programs. I know Equity Bank has a SIM card program where it's participating in 7 countries, where this SIM card, she's able to deposit and she can also withdraw money and make transaction using this SIM card. So by using that, she's creating a record. So that record can help assist so that she's able to use that to get credit and so on. And also insurance companies, I'll use an example in the fisheries value chain. I'll talk about it later, which is one of the value chains that we're implementing, where insurance companies have come on board. There's one from Tanzania, Eka Insurance, where they are able to provide like first spoilage insurance. Like if it's the first time you lose something, you are covered for that. And also we are looking at other programs that will be, or products that will be added, so that those losses that our people face because of the long and challenging border processes, you are able to be covered. And also to come to form partnerships so that we are able to co-guarantee each other. So these are part of the programs that are coming on board, and also to just support that there's specific loans that our small scale cross borders are able to access and be able to expand their business and be able to trade. So we know that our market is really fragmented and everything, and there's serious loss or low information when you come to the grassroots. You find that most of the time when we're at this forum, we have the same faces that come, that have this opportunity. But what about that woman in the rural area who doesn't have this? That's why we are now using the protocol on digital trade, so that using the e-information, our woman is able to have access to information. There's a product I know under ECOWAS, is it 50 million women, where you can access this information. You don't even need internet, as long as you're on small mobile money. There's a certain high code that you key in, and you can access some of these women. So these are some of the initiatives, not only that the AfCFTA is doing, but also different regional economic communities are putting in place, and also that is assisting and making it easier for this protocol to be implemented. So we are working together, not only at continental, but also at rec level, to address the main challenge of fragmentation, working in isolation. So we're just trying to come together and to ensure that. And most of the time, we have a challenge of women saying we don't have representation at national level where these decisions are being made. You'll find that we were not consulted when this was implemented, and this is not in our favor, and so on and so forth. So we want our women to be part of the trade facilitation committees that are represented at AfCFTA level. So these are responsible for the implementation of the commitments that we've made at national level. So if your association or your business is not aware of this, I believe go to the Ministry of Trade, find out when these decisions are made. If you are not present, or if there's no representation of your chairman or anybody to speak for you in that committee, you need to ensure that an association, be part of an association to start with, be part of an association, so that through that association, you can have a voice as a woman, as a youth, so that you are able to just be part in these decision-making places. It's very important to know how your National Implementation Committee is functioning and how you can also participate in this National Implementation Committee. If you are a business and you are not recognized by the National Implementation Committee, it will be difficult for you to get the benefits, the preferential tariffs under the AfCFTA. So some of the implementing, the AfCFTA implementing countries, for example, Egypt, Rwanda, I know Kenya is an implementing country. We have what we call they are accredited association, which is AfCFTA trading companies. So these are companies that I have already tested how they can benefit from the AfCFTA. AfCFTA trading companies have got certification. They know how it is and what is required for you to truly be able to export or import under the AfCFTA. So through this, you can identify there's always a focal point in each, maybe if I should have started from the beginning, as you know, there are now 49 countries that have ratified, right? So you are ready to trade, and we have 28 that are participating. So if you're participating, meaning they should be an AfCFTA trading company. So find out who are the focal point people are, and then that helps small businesses do business aggregation. So through that, if you are not able to transport or export because of the cost associated with it, you are able to cost share so that you are able to export and also to have the required certification, which would be very expensive for you to do by yourself. So information is very key. Visiting our website, also finding out what's happening is important, but also finding out what's happening in country is also quite key, so that you can also address all the barriers that you are facing. The AfCFTA has also implemented the non-tariff monitoring and reporting tool. So these are some of the tools that are also going to help the women, because the women are the ones that are facing the most NTBs as they trade along the different corridors. So we normally pose this question when you ask a woman or a youth cross-border trader, they'll say, oh, well, the processing is so long, it makes me lose so much money, we have so many challenges. No, because you heard it from another person heard it from another person, but nobody is really saying what the challenges are. But then you come back to us and say, it's not working. How is it not working? So it's important as a business to know first know how should the system work. For example, I'm selling fish. I should know how long does the documentation take for me to clear this particular fish if I'm exporting to this place. I'll give an example. If it takes 3 days for me to have that certification, that is what is required at national level. Then I'm exporting my fish, it takes 3 days. I can't complain that it took so long because it's within the stipulated time. So it's very important to know what you're dealing with. But if it takes 4 to 5 days, then I have a problem. Then that is an NTB. I need to report it. I need to cite out the institution that created that NTB. So that's why I need to register on the NTB platform so that I say, oh, I was in Zambia, I'll give my country. I was in Zambia and the Ministry of Agriculture, instead of issuing this export certificate in 2 days, they issued it in 6 days. So now it will flash. The people sitting at the AfCFTA Secretariat will immediately contact the focal point in Zambia. The focal point will contact the institution available. And you know, it's embarrassing as a country to just be flashing that continental level that you're doing this wrong. So they'll be able to work and make something use. And if there's an excuse, they'll be able to say, no, we had this challenge, but it will be rectified. So that way, our barriers will be going away slowly. But if we don't report them, if we don't know what is required for us to do, then we won't have those challenges. And sometimes the women, because they've had it so difficult to have this certification, to have this correct documentation, there's corruption. You also won't test the waters, you follow those who are doing wrong. Then you go there, your products are failing to go to the other country. Then again, you start saying, no, this thing is not working. Always test. Find where the challenge is, cite it out. Once we see this is what's not working, that's how we can speak with the government and make it work. That's how we can speak with the regional economic communities and make the trade work for our women and the youth. So I've already mentioned some of the forums where women can participate, and still, because you know how women are, like how important women and the youth are, because you are very important for this trade to work. We know that 70% of the people doing cross-border trade are women and youth. So also we are dealing mostly in agriculture. There are different value chains that we are dealing in to support the women and the youth. The AfCFTA consulted with different forums and they came up with the private sector strategy. So through this private sector strategy, they looked at all the value chains and said, okay, which value chains can assist in the implementation and also address the issue of inclusivity? So they came up with these 4 value chains. We have agriculture and agro-processing. We have pharmaceuticals, because you know what we need. There's this gap for us to just have our own medicines and also have our own vaccines so that we don't have any challenges in the future. Then we have automotives, because we import second-hand so much across the continent, from Asia, from Europe, from America. So meaning there's a need, there's a gap that we need to fill. Then we all know the challenges with transport and logistics. Through these 4 identified value chains, there was an analysis that was done. And the one that came up where women were coming up to participate more was the agro-processing value chain. And when they assessed the different value chains within the agro-processing, fish was one that came up at the top to say, if we started implementing or supporting this value chain, you'll find that we'll be able to assist many of our women many of our youth, and we also support the way they are participating in intra-Africa trade. So the AfCFTA partnered with MasterCard Foundation and Trademark Africa to support the women in this value chain. So far, the participating countries as a pilot, it's Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, including Zanzibar, the island, Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, Nigeria, Comoros, and Cabo Verde. So these were selected. They are not randomly picked. You look at which is going to support the entire continent. So Comoros and Cabo Verde come in because we need to support island states. Nigeria because of its ability to produce this product and also feed, but also its heavy participation in West Africa. Zambia because of its ability to produce grain. DRC because of its ability to consume. Tanzania, blue economy, and so on. So it was selected out of, with an intention to achieve something. So through the implementation of this program, it is expected that in this value chain, it should support existing jobs as well as create jobs. So in total, this project is supposed to run 3 to 4 years, and it's expected to create about 242,000 jobs for the women and the youth. So through this program, they've also partnered with other partners, Kilimo Trust, there's Microsave Global, and there's also Latest Aqua. So it's looking at capacity building and also how these partners are working with people, women, and cross-border trader on the ground. So it's supposed to increase trade in fish by women and youth through the providing of capacity building and also building linkages. It's supposed to improve access to fish feed inputs because 70% of the cost in aquaculture is feed. So we are looking at how can we ensure that we have quality feed and we also have availability of this feed so that aquaculture can be developed. We have more production of fish. We are producing more. We are creating jobs for our youth, and we are also making trade easier for the participating women and youth. And we also want, through this value chain promotion, we are going to enhance trading environment so that our women and youth are able to participate in a safe environment. So under this program, maybe if I can just go. So the Trademark Africa have an app called iSoko. How many know iSoko? Yes, thank you. Yes, there is. So you need to trade using this iSoko. It's making trade easier, making it simplified, especially in the East African community region. So through these such apps, by looking at the experience and the wins that has been gained through this app, we can also now roll it at continental level or maybe replicate it in other regional communities so that it also works for the people. The EAC is also working with e-certification standards and also to ensure that it's easier for you to trade in this fish. Not only that, they've moved a step further to see, since this value chain is quite key, but you'll find that in terms of the coming up with harmonized system or standards that are recognized, it's a huge challenge. So ASO has come on board and they are now developing standards that are going to be continental standards, and people in this value chain will be able to trade with certificates that are recognized in each country that you are working on. So those are the gains, and also just to ensure that all the e-trade platform because this is one of the quick win that we feel is going to help reduce the fragmentation and the working in isolation, and also the quick availability of information. So digital trade, the protocol, the strategy, it's all coming to support the women and the youth. I think that is my short presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause for Florence for giving us insight on how to navigate this complex situation, but she has made it much easier for us to understand. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. I would like to invite on the podium all our panelists, Joy and Natasha, and I don't know if the other gentleman is here. And also Komi. Yep, if I can invite you onto the stage just as we wind up. I hope your questions are being answered. We have just a few more minutes just for if you have any burning question. And I would like to say to this gentleman, you had put your hand up for a very long time, so we probably start with you if your question has not been answered yet. But just a few more minutes so we can ask our panelists any questions, and then we will be winding up shortly. All right, thank you. So if you have any questions for any of the panelists, we could do that. Let me come down. Gentleman, give the gentleman next to you. Thank you. Okay, that's good.
I think
Yeah.
my question should have been addressed to the panelists that have left, but I wanted to find out how the export acceleration program is working. And also maybe I just wanted to highlight something that we are doing in Zambia in terms of the supply development program, where we are linking our SMEs to large companies who are buyers, but then we're still in the early or infant stages of implementation. So we hope that next time we come back, we'll have good stories to tell as well. Thank you.
I guess that was, you wanted more from the Afreximbank, right? I think, Komi, you're better positioned to answer. Mr. Komi.
Yes, so of course, we will also organize cross-country dialogue to share experience so that countries that are not implementing similar program can also implement. So we will link up with the countries. But I think I like the idea you brought. Maybe you could have present the SDP, which is a supply development program, where there is a dedicated support to MSMEs to supply large companies. And this has been implemented in Botswana and be implemented in Zambia, as you said. But in terms of accelerator program specifically, it's a kind of facility that is put in place. I think Togo, I know UNDP Togo is also implementing a similar program for a cohort of entrepreneurs. Basically, you identify the champions through a cohort, help them through capacity building. I know in countries like Togo, these are started over the past 2-3 years, and some of the businesses now are trading. So it's a kind of cohort approach where you build the capacity of a number, you start over a certain period, you take them through market access program, and some of them also receive grant, especially those that are ready to export. You support, identify the gaps as well. It's similar to SDP where you identify the gap, what are the actions, and this is not only UNDP to do it, right? And then some partners come in to also supply, support certification and so and so. But we will have more details with those countries to provide more detail of the result and so and so, yeah.
All right. Do we have any other question? Anybody else with a burning question? Okay.
Not burning, but I wanted to ask the last presenter. I saw Uganda on your presentation, and I'm wondering how, Uganda is involved and who are the partners that you're working with in Uganda. Thank you.
Question.
Sorry, I was responding to something urgent, and if you can just repeat it. Thank you. Okay. If I may ask, are you also in the value chain? Okay. All right, thank you. Kilimo Trust is actually situated in Uganda. Kilimo Trust. So we are working with Kilimo Trust is the other sub partner that is working with the women and youth cross-border traders, including the ones that are dealing with fish in Lake Victoria. And we are also working with the Ministry of Blue Economy and Fisheries, which is agriculture also. We've been in contact with the permanent secretary there. And in June, there was actually a consultation that was held with all the partners on the ground to look at what are the needs of the people and what are the challenges of the women cross-border that are dealing with fish trade. We know there's a lot of challenges in Uganda, which we want to work with the government and see how the women cross-border can be assisted in terms of the fish bans, and also, but we're trying to encourage more aquaculture because we know the depletion of Lake Victoria and other challenges associated with it. So we are also looking at the challenges that you have in terms of fish, feed costs, sorry. If you can see me afterwards, I actually have the contact of the Kilimo Trust we can share so that I link you up and how we see how you can be assisted. So if you need capacity building, they are offering those services. And in terms of coming up with a national plan of what they really need or what are the interventions that the program can come into, this was held, but through this Kilimo Trust, you can also request to see what were the priorities that they identified at national level and to see if those address your needs. And if you have anything critical that you feel should be included, there's still this window that is open. The program just started this year, so it's expected to run for the next 3 to 4 years. So there's still space to work with you. Yeah, but we can also share just more detail after this. I'm willing to help. I'm actually working on this value chain. Yeah, I was supporting this value chain, so I'm willing to share more information with you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. A very big thank you to each and everyone for coming. I will be handing over now to Joy Zenz, the CEO and founder of Africa Women in Trade, AfWITrade. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being patient. We were many, we're getting less, but you know what? Trade is one step and another one. And I'm happy some of you women who are here are running to the stands to get those information. That's what we came here. Even if we get 5 of you, even 2, and you close the deal all the way, just be coming here, we're very, very happy. And myself, I'm excited because we put up this partner together, UNDP. They jumped in. Yes, you have to approach them and ask, can you help me? I need to inform women. But but I need someone to support me as sponsors. So we work together, and immediately we have the AfCFTA. We have worked with them. Kelemene came for an exhibition in Cape Town, 2022, over 40 women we put together. And we are still going to do it next year again. We'll be announcing, mostly it will be in Ghana, and we're bringing you in. But ours is purely trade, only when you're trade ready. We are not in a hurry. We take you on board as we build you up, but you have to learn from one another. So I encourage you, whatever information you got here, and this is also recorded, so we'll be sharing with all the Africa women in Europe on our platform. We encourage you to register. As you heard, association is everything. Women work in packs. We don't work single. You're stronger when you're together. And I'm not saying only mine. There are so many women associations all over. We don't compete with anyone. There is enough for everyone. Can you imagine if we are clustered? Their work will be easier to get us. Their work will be easier to really find the solution, the problem, so that they know instead of coming from top down, they should be bottom up. That's the way to do with trade. And our work is to work on the bottom and pass the information to the top. So whatever issue you're getting, reach out to us, Africa Women in Trade. My colleague here, she's very happy to walk you through. And I'm telling you, we walk the journey. We have the women who started like nothing right now. I met her on the stand, the processing. There's a processing stand. They are here with UNDP. They are all over here. And she was screaming when she saw me. And I told her, I knew you were going to be in trade. But you have to start slowly. Keep talking, keep fighting. Go to those trainings, she trades. Can you write she trades? They offer free trainings and certifications and even pay for you everywhere to go to exhibit. And they are real action taker. But if we don't talk to them and tell them, because I sit on a position, being a diaspora in Germany, I sit on very high table sometimes, WTO, ITC, and I tell them, this is what my issue my women are having. We also sat on the ITC about she trade, because all these women landed on my table with all these beautiful products. I asked them, who did this? Is this one and this one? And I went to their table. Where was this supposed to go? I have challenged them on when I'm in Europe. It's easier so that we have an impact. Women are tired of trading, UNDP. I can report to you to that. Training with no end results. The women are tired. They want to see training and selling. They want to make money. I told the women, money is the most important. Get out from brand. My brand. Doesn't work in trade. Factory price, finish. Whatever I do with that after that, whether I get a youth to process it, there's a program that we're having for the youth. We're going to train them to trade because the women cannot go to trade right now. It's too complicated for them. They're just good at preparing the product until they're, and I'm telling you, they're much older, 60, 70, yeah, when your retirement plan is business plan, huh? Normally for women. So they are there, and I tell them, stop there, stop it. Manufacture is a very good position. You are a manufacturer from now on. My title is so group manufacturer. And give me my price. Give me my price. What we do, as I say, is talking. A lot of mindset. And then I tell them, your youth are your employee. Prepare them. Don't go marketing. It's too much work. Traveling is too much work. Just stay at home, prepare the product. Let the youth train now the other part of it, where the UNDP should come and train the youth to be traders, aggregators, consolidators, because the school on its own. My women cannot do that. It's too much. They cannot do A to Z. So we have the youth. Well, on my platform, they are waiting for programs that can help them to train to take the women to the next level. And those ones can negotiate, can do everything. They are powerful, especially the Kenya. They are too busy with Gen Z. There's one here in front of me. I went to South Africa. Kenya is not working for me. I go to another country. Don't get stuck with your country. You can support women from all over. There's no border. So I'm very happy. I've been able to work with my colleague with the help of the women. I'm not in trade. No, I learn with them. I tell them we're going to learn together
figure it out until we get it. But we are on the right track. So I want to thank everyone for coming. Pass on the information. We pass on our women. They're all on digital space right now, and we'll be sharing with them the information. They're excited. We are growing. I told them to come and visit. Don't stay trade yet. And traders who are here, please don't bring a whole bottle of 1 liter. I don't know my brand. We would just want traders bring only 10 milliliter, 30 milliliter. I just need to see. Yeah, stop carrying too much luggages. That's not trading. I will not carry it so much. I need a sample, and then we start communication. Trade is digital. Just me a card, off you go. Next person. Then you reach at home, start talking to me. Let's exchange email. Make sure you have a Gmail account. It's free. WhatsApp is free. Let's negotiate. Everything we do is digital. I only travel this year I only travel. This is the first travel, but we communicate with them on a daily basis, digital. So thank you so much. We will continue doing this. But before I say thank you, I want to pass on to my sponsors and my biggest partner in the whole process to also pass on regard as we close.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to not only participate in this conversation, but bear witness to the kinds of chemistry that take place when the different partnerships start to come to life, whether it's with UNDP, AFCFTA Secretariat, AfriWomen-Trade, Afreximbank, sorry, with breaking down the information and having it presented so clearly. This is what an event like this one is all about. So I represent UNDP Algeria in this conversation. Algeria, I think, is at a crossroads also at trying to think for itself around how this Pan-African opportunity translates on the ground here, but there's so much more. The continent is diverse. There is so much richness in it. I don't have to tell any of you that. And I think that it's a fantastic opportunity for UNDP Algeria, but UNDP more broadly, to foster and forge these conversations as they continue to mature. And I think that Komi is here for exactly that reason. So I'm not going to say a lot. I'll pass it straight to him. But thank you so much for the opportunity and the privilege.
No, nothing much to say rather than thank you all. Thanks also for our recent representative here who has been hosting us for the past few days. Integration is a process, and we are seeing from, over the past 4 years, we have seen how women entrepreneurs have been able to scale businesses, and some of them trading across border, but a lot still need to be done. And we count on the partnership with all of our partner institutions to make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank the women, the youth, and the men in the audience for just showing up to this conversation, because we know that we are not trade. Trade is you. That's very important. And all this space, it's because you are important. So you don't need to do the whole process as Joy has said it. Identify which value chain you are participating in and which part of the value chain you can participate. You don't need to stress yourself with the whole thing. Just find what can I manage, where can I participate, and how do I fit into the big system. You can just be as a processor, you can be trading in the final product. You don't need to fish, dry, and sell. You just find out in this thing that which I'm working with, where can I come in? How can I add value? How can I link and create these linkages to these opportunities that have been presented before us? And I just want to take the opportunity to UNDP, Komi. He's been a very great support. We speak policy, but he's on the ground to ensure that what we are speaking at policy level is being actualized. And we see so many stories, even when we cross in the different booths, we see the women who have been supported, who have been given capacity building, who are now able to meet the international standards, who are able to participate in intra-Africa trade. This is really a great support, and we're so appreciative of that. And we are also valuing different women here, the Africa Chamber of Commerce, our women such as Joy, who are bringing you together to just ensure that you are visible, increase visibility, you are able to address some of the challenges. I just want to really appreciate all of you because you are making the work that we are doing at the AfCFTA possible. Thank you very much.
I would just like to echo a very big thank you to each and every person who has attended this session. I hope it has impacted you in one way or another. You have received information, some is for you, some is for people that you know. So it's not just about you, it's about you thinking of your nation. Every nation represented here, you can take a piece of what has come out from here and take it back with you and let us empower each other. We are here to make sure that we reach many more. Not everyone could come here, but you're a good representative, you're a good ambassador. So take this information. And also I would like to encourage each and every one of you to visit the stands. The AfCFTA have a stand, UNDP have a stand, Afreximbank have a stand. Go to these stands, get more information, so that you can be able to, move to the next level. And I just want to say thank you very much to Joy, our founder, Africa Women in Trade. She's done a tremendous job. I think we can give a big hand of applause to her. She goes all the way. You hear, she's talking about the women. She's not only here for herself, but we represent a whole group of women behind us. And that's what it's all about. Because if you lift these women up, you're lifting not only them, but their entire families and their nation. So it's about you creating impact. We'd also encourage you to join us, Africa Women in Trade. We have a website, which is africawomenintrade.com. You can go there, you can learn more about it. You can join our community. You find other like-minded women across the world who you can be able to network with. And before you also leave here, I would encourage you to network with each other because some of the answers you're really looking for could be sitting right next to you. So I just want to say a big thank you to each and every one of you. God bless you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.